This is Wendy's Friday Night Rivals.
Week 3 of the high school football season here on the Gulf Coast, and tonight we return to the Lip as McGill-Toolen. And I think they and Saraland both a little surprised where they're at coming into week 3 of the season. McGill opened things up 2 weeks ago, gave up 76 in their opener against Pike Road, lost that game. Saraland has faced 2 7A teams, played a Theodore team real tough, and then went up to Hewlett-Trussville last week and had a tough matchup. They were shut out in that game. But we open up region play here tonight, Dan, and I think both teams are saying, hey, a new day does dawn when we start playing region football.
Yeah, I think if there's any good news at all, the fact that McGill, their offense looked pretty good against Pike Road, so that's something to build on. But the quarterback that started in that game, injured and out probably for the season. So this is a couple of teams that are kind of scuffling right now, and you'll get to watch it live on TV.
You know, and I think if you're Saraland, you come into this game and you say, okay, what we have to stop the run. You've got to stop the run, and you've got to be strong up front. And, boy, they do have a player up on that defensive line. We've been watching for a couple of years. He is a game changer, Dan Brennan.
Well, he's a game changer, and he just gets your attention getting off the bus. So certainly that freshman quarterback from McGill is going to have his eyes on Trevin McAlpine. He's number 95. You'll notice him during the game. No problem. Big defensive lineman. He was out in the first game against Theodore. He's back. He's healthy. He's been recruited by a number of schools. It looks like he's settling in on
TCU. Yep.
TCU. Okay. So there you go. Division I player anchors the defensive line for Saraland. Here's the thing, though. If you're McGill, you're thinking, we've got to run it. We've got a freshman quarterback. The good thing is they've got some answers there.
Boy, I tell you, we had Braylon McReynolds on our pregame show, Dan, and he talked about the big game he had last week, but there was one thing that was instantly apparent. He was not satisfied at all.
No, he looked at 229 yards like, hey, man, that's just a game. That's not a great game. 229 yards is nothing to sneeze at. That's what he had in the first game. He also caught the ball. It was effective in the passing game, too. He's not huge, but he's strong. About 5'8", 175. I can't wait to watch this kid operate today. He was ultra confident in the pregame show, like, I know what I'm doing. Okay, we'll get a chance to watch it here tonight.
And you wonder what he would have done. You know, only 19 carries you see there. McGill fell well behind. They had to start throwing the ball way more, so he would have toed to the rock a lot more.
No doubt. I think that's the plan tonight is to get the lead, get Edwards the ball as much as you can. I can't imagine they're going to put too much on that young quarterback's plate.
We will find out. Kickoff coming up next here at the Lips. Saraland and McGill. Region 1 6A play starts tonight right here on Wendy's Friday Night Rivals. And here come your home team, McGill-Toolen Yellow Jackets, ready to play host to Saraland tonight. Before we kick this one off, let's go back down to the sidelines and welcome in third member of our broadcast crew, Heather Healy, again with us tonight. Good evening, Heather.
High school football season, and both the Spartans and the Yellow Jackets, they're still without a win. But what better way to get the win than opening up with region play? The Spartans, they're on their third straight road matchup, ready to get that win back home for week 4. As for the Yellow Jackets and first-year head coach Norman Joseph, they are on a bye week last week, and so they are revved up and ready to go. Should be a great game, guys.
Thank you, Heather. Look forward to see what the changes McGill does. Still, people were just shocked at that score 2 weeks ago. I don't think there's any other way to say it, Dan. 76 points given up here. That's just...
Yeah, well, we were shocked early on because we were getting the scores, and there was so many points being scored rapid fire. Actually, both teams.
Yep.
And it was just going back and forth. McGill got behind, so they stayed behind pretty much by 20 most of the game. But the rate of points being scored in that game, just nothing like we've seen before. 76-51 with final, something
55
like that?
at the half.
Wow, you have 55 for Pike Road at halftime.
Yeah. So Michael Shine will kick off here for the Yellow Jackets. Saraland bringing a big crowd here tonight to watch this one here at the Lip. As Heather said, region play starting tonight. McGill with an odd second week, bye week, an odd time in the schedule to have that fall for them. This one go back inside the 5, and Jarrell Williams out across the 30. Williams with a straight arm across the 40 into the 46-yard line, in good field position for that man. And the offense, Jeff Kelly, in his 11th year here at Saraland. You see the record 94 and 43. Jeff has also had stops at Jackson and Satsuma, and he's had great success everywhere he's been. And he'll roll out his sophomore or junior quarterback Gabe Reynolds tonight. We saw him play most of the first week game against Theodore, and he's kind of settled into that starting spot.
I got to tell you, Jim, that kickoff, that was too easy. That was sealed off. They had the edge. That was not high quality special teams played from McGill.
And right away we see Willie Butler in the backfield. They've been kind of going with running back by committee. Butler, the starting cornerback as well, and pressure there. They got pushed back a little bit on the far side, and Adams was over there. Let's look at the Saraland offense. Reed, Tyler Crenshaw, Bryson Broughton-Chastang up there, Ian Krause, and Kyron Wilson. Williams is the speed threat on the outside, had 6 catches coming into tonight's game. And Ryan Williams on the other side. Milner, the tight end, has been a big part of their offense as well. But now they'll empty the backfield and keep your eye on number 5, Engelbert. Instead, they come on the end around. C.J. Mack, who also plays in the secondary, tried to turn the corner, and he got brought down. Stadther there to make the stop. It's going to bring up 3rd down.
We have a sideline warning against McGill. That's their first warning.
Don English, our referee, with our first McConnell collision flag here on the night, so it'll stay 3rd down and 8 for the Spartans. Reynolds, we liked what we saw from him in week 1, and Coach Kelly thought he had some big improvements last week. Maybe didn't see on the scoreboard. Brown and Edwards on the outside, Alou and Rice, and keep your eye on number 2, Braden Turner in the secondary. He's going to Northwestern, and he's got a nose for the football, and this one incomplete as they tried to go to C.J. Mack, and Ashton Zinga was up back there in coverage, the sophomore for McGill, and so a 3 and out. They didn't have a lot of those last week, Dan.
I don't think they had any of them last week. So they defend the pass well. That was everything was an issue last week, 2 weeks ago, again with the bye week last week. But that's a sigh of relief from the McGill coaching staff to our left.
Jack Smith, he's going to go punt at Clemson. And he's got Braden Turner, who we just talked about, standing back at the 15. Legal substitution here. Looks like McGill had 12 on the field.
We have a legal substitution on the defense, a 5-yard penalty. Replay 4th down.
So it was 4th and 8, so it doesn't look like Jeff Kelly. We saw him go for it a couple of times in week 1 against Theodore. I think he's going to look to maybe play a little field position here and see if he can get McGill pinned back. And Jack Smith has got a big leg, and but Turner is a dangerous return man for the Yellow Jackets down to our right. Fake it. Snapped it to the up man, and it comes to Santee Williams. The running back has got it inside the 20 on the fake, inside the 10, inside the 5. 1st and goal, Saraland. The freshman, the up man, takes it all the way down to the 5 and nearly took it into the end zone.
You know, you're just seeing some things out of McGill that are just not promising. Special teams did not look good on the kickoff. Special teams does not do a very good job there with the fake. You had to figure it might be coming. And of course, it was the special teams that gave him the extra down.
It was the penalty, yeah. The penalty that goes from 4th and 8, 4th and 3. I think at 4th and 8, they're probably not faking that.
They were about to get the ball.
Motion, inside give, and not much there for Cameron Lafitte. Sophomore, 7 carries on the year now. He's about 180 pounds, and they brought McAlpine in there as well to try to give some more beef on the front side, and instead they'll come back with a 5-receiver set and spread the field this time, including C.J. Mack. He's played wide receiver in years past. Jeff Kelly was talking about that in the pregame show.
Quarterback draw, maybe? Ooh, we won't know.
So this is going to be another McConnell Collision Center flag. Don English is going to back up Saraland just a shade outside the 11.
Dead ball foul. Snapping.
It's a 2nd and goal. And they'll keep it spread. Milner in the slot. Williams to the bottom of the screen. Engelbert and Mack out on the far side. They come inside to Williams, and Williams sheds 1 tackle, but he's going to get back to about maybe the 6 and going to bring up 3rd and goal.
Good job on McGill. Looked like it had a chance, right? Little bubble screen.
Good size on Williams at 6'3". You like to get him a little space. And
no doubt. This is a kid who's going to play at the next level as well. So McGill's got themselves to blame for the fact that their defense has got to bail them out here.
And you talked about the special teams, the big return to start the game that gave them great field position, but then you had a 3-and-out situation.
And it just didn't look sound.
And now Jeff Kelly does not like how things were going. It looked like Ryan Williams was maybe not set at the far receiver. Jarrell Williams on the other side was trying to wave to him, and those pre-snap not getting lined up, that'll make a coach pull his hair out.
You know, they both have got a lot of younger players. I mean, for heavens, Saraland started a freshman a couple of weeks ago, and quarterback McGill's doing the same tonight.
How about the win for St. Michael last night against Jackson? A big region victory for the Cardinals. Halma Bryant and Theodore, a couple 2-0 teams tonight. Baker and Foley, Daphne and Fairhope, the War on the Shore. That's a big one in 7A. Murphy and Davidson, 2-0 Gulf Shores coming up, taking on the Toros in Spanish Fort, Baldwin County and Blunt. Robertsdale and Citronelle tonight. Faith Academy with their second win last week over Williamson, taking on Alberta. LaFleur and UMS. We'll see the Bulldogs next week. Satsuma, BC, Rame. St. Paul's and Williamson. St. Paul's, we will see them playing UMS next week. Rounds out our schedule here for a busy Friday night in week 3 per usual here along the Alabama Gulf Coast. 3rd and goal. Gabe Reynolds, the junior. We'll just split 2 out. Bring Williams in motion and they'll roll his way. Reynolds now looking back to throw back and looking to Engelbert, and he gets the flag. Engelbert was trying to get a step on Will Adams, the senior linebacker, and Adams.
He had the step. Yeah. That's why Adams kind of grabbed him.
Yeah, maybe not a bad penalty to take, because if he's able to get free, there's no help behind him. Everyone had rotated over to the near boundary.
You would just only hope that maybe he's going to drop it, but Engelbert doesn't drop many balls. Really good hands, so that's the old just dragging the tight end across the field. Call him a tight end, H-back, whatever, but Engelbert, you know, all the motion's going right. There he goes. He just tries to sneak out, and he does, forcing the holding penalty.
Heard Don English on the McConnell Collision Center flag, half the distance on 3rd down.
Holding better than interference, which is 1st down.
Lafitte in the backfield. Now those give it off to Williams, trying to turn the corner, and Williams, good penetration there. He breaks a tackle and gets inside the 5. They had him bottled up, but he broke a tackle, and it's going to bring up a field goal opportunity there. And that's a couple of times they got it into Williams' hands, which is exactly what you want in a red zone situation here. And give McGill's defense some credit here, Dan Brennan.
Oh, you can see why you want to give it to him, right? Watch this. Breaks that tackle, and now he's racing toward the goal line, knocked out just before he gets there.
Yeah, Javon Edwards was the one who came from the near side defensive end, and Hunter Kirkland has got a big, strong leg. Jack Smith will hold. And Saraland with a 3-0 lead on Hunter Smith's short field goal. Exactly 4 minutes into this one, and that brings the cheers from the Saraland crowd. Friday night rivals here at the Lip. Saraland on top 3-0 as we open up region play at McGill-Toolen. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, Heather Healy on the sidelines. Friday night rivals here, McGill-Toolen and Saraland. Region 1 play opening up on this week 3 of the season. And Saraland uses 4 minutes, and Special teams fake on a punt to end up with a touchdown there, but we were just saying in the break, that was not on McGill's defense. Give McGill's defense credit for the plays they were out there.
That was all on the special teams, including the kickoff return that put Saraland in great position. So really got to tighten up on that. Anxious to see McReynolds in the offense, and pretty much, I think you could say McReynolds might be the offense tonight.
You would guess he's going to be a huge dose of it. Kirkland sends this one back into the end zone, and Anthony Eager, watch that one fly over his head. He had a big week last week, 113 yards and a touchdown on just 5 receptions, but quarterback Aaron Carabin got hurt in that opening week game, and he is out, and so we're going to see freshman quarterback out here tonight for McGill, unless they go a little, they're going to go like a little wildcat to start this one. As we're expecting to see Andrew Murchison start, and there's Norman Joseph. Spent most of his career at the collegiate level. He's an assistant over in Louisiana last year at the high school level, and so now, they had Will Taylor lined up, and now they're going to go with McReynolds. He drops the snap. Braylon McReynolds, who had 229 yards last week, gets just back to the line of scrimmage, and that was just didn't have a great feel pre-snap for Yellow Jackets there. Dalton Diamond, Bolus, Manis, and Fayard up front, and now we'll see freshman coming in, Anthony Eager out wide. He had the big week. Taylor, Harbin, also Jenkins. Keep your eye on him. All right, so we're going to assume this is Murchison. He's going to give it off to McReynolds, and McReynolds picks up 9. Maybe they're going to give him exactly 10. So we got 2 quarterbacks for McGill-Toolen who both wear number 5.
Well, that's handy.
That's one way of putting it. Trayvon McAlpine, who Dan highlighted in the pregame show. Keaton Loss had a great start to the season defensively for Saraland. Jimmy Bird, and you got Pope. Tyler Thompson is actually out. There's Washington going to replace him. Thompson and Clint Smith, the linebackers. Willie Butler back there. Roberson, the safety. C.J. Mack, our guest in the pregame show, and Davis. And now they look to throw it, and that's going to be well overthrown and a big hit in the backfield there on 1st and 10.
Well, the play before that, I'm telling you, Roberson, he saved something right there because McReynolds had the edge, had a chance for a big gainer.
Got a McConnell collision flag there as Jimmy Bird with a hit on, and the flag was right in the middle of the field. They're going to walk this one off against McGill-Toolen back to the 25. Didn't hear what Don English had to say on that one. Looked like we might have, sounded like we might have had some trouble with his microphone there. So 2nd and 15. McReynolds slips a tackle at the 25, and he gets back to around the 30-yard line.
He can make something out of nothing. You notice that so far. Tight space does not bother him.
Third down now coming up for McGill-Toolen. We're going to try to get a confirmation that is Murchison. He's a freshman. We'll also see Michael Crocker back there, who's a sophomore.
I think that might be Crocker.
Well, I thought that, but they said he's going to stop throwing over the middle, and that one's broken up as they try to go back to Anthony Eager, who, as we said, had the big week last week, and Butler was there. Get a hand on that one, and Butler, the talented 3-year starter, on the corner, and that'll bring up fourth down situation here for McGill. Shine, who does all their kicking, will come on and as Coach, we talked about Coach Joseph. He's an all-stater at Mississippi State as a player. All-American, excuse me, as a player at Mississippi State. He's the head coach at Belhaven and Louisiana College and Mississippi College. And he's got a lot of college coaching years on that staff as well.
He had McGill kids on his Belhaven team.
How about that?
Back around 2000, 2001.
Randy Butler, his defensive coordinator, was a longtime college coach, recruited Jeff Kelly to come play at Southern Miss.
Yeah, a lot of these histories have already crossed.
Look at our 6A Region 1 standings. Gulf Shores and Spanish Fort are playing tonight. And, of course, everyone getting their region play underway. And certainly getting a peek at Spanish Fort. We were impressed with them and look to be the favorite here in the 6A Region 1. Area down here along the Gulf Coast.
Not a whole lot of rhythm to this game. I don't know what the issue is.
Had a lot of penalties.
I don't think anybody's called a timeout. The heat timeout? Maybe? We weren't aware of it? I don't know.
Yeah, it is. They're trying to determine what down it is. It would be 4th down. That's you would guess Jeff Kelly out there lobbying saying, yes, it is 4th down. McGill staff saying, no, it's only 3rd.
So they got the, they said he got the first down on the run, right?
Yeah, that's right to the 30. And that started the new set of downs.
Then they had the penalty.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was first down again. So it's 3rd down now. Is that right?
So you had the pass on the far side that was incomplete, but I can't remember if that was. Yeah, that was. I thought you had the pass that was incomplete on the far side. Then you had the one over here to the near side that was tipped away.
And you had the run for 5 yards. Put it back at the 30. There was 3 downs right there. Should be 4th down. I believe.
I'm not sure Don English over there is okay. They all got together and had a huddle.
At least
we could roll the tape back if they'd like to, So now they shift out. They're going to go with McReynolds taking the direct snap. Tries to get on the right side, and he does. And let's see if he's going to get the first down. He does, and this could turn out to be a big play in the game, Dan Brennan.
That's going for it on 4th down, but you didn't know it, basically.
And he picks up 13.
Boy, he looks good. I mean, there is no play where he looks like he can't find a chance to get the yard. Look at that initial quickness, Jim. When he decides, here's what I'm doing, that's what he's going to do, and he does it decisively.
Yeah, the sophomore Chris Thompson pulled him down. This time he'll push the pile for a couple on the right. On the right side is 2nd down coming up here. We thought maybe we would see a lot more carries tonight. They would have loved to have just given him more last week, but when you fall behind like that, you got to start throwing the football.
Yep. And again, their starting quarterback, I think he was going to be the starter, ended up going to Blunt 2 weeks before the season.
Yep.
The then starting quarterback now is out for the year with an injury.
2nd and 6. McReynolds up to the 45, and that's going to be good for another first down. And USA Cancer Health Center, it's Prostate Awareness Month. Go Blue this month. We're going to talk more about that throughout the evening as well. And McReynolds moves the chains again. Wes Williams, big McGill alumni, big supporter.
Oh, yeah.
Fishing a tournament. He's watching the game on his boat right now.
Nice.
Yes, out in the Gulf of Mexico. Do a little marlin fishing and watching some MAC-T football. Keaton Law came across there. I'm not sure if he was drawn off.
Dead ball foul. Snap infraction on the offense. 5-yard penalty, replay first down.
Another McConnell Collision Center penalty. You have the right call to tell your insurance company who repairs your vehicle. Tell them you want McConnell Collision Center. First and 15, and one thing I've noticed everywhere we've gone, Dan, is they do not, I'll continue that thought momentarily here, as Henderson rolls out and he's able to get this one to Taylor. Had a big week last week, had 8 catches. So nowhere that we've been in 3 weeks has an official kept up with the down and distance on the scoreboard. So if they would have been doing that, they could have looked at the scoreboard as well to say, hey, wait a minute.
Yep.
So the roll out here, and Taylor, as we said, the senior, 5'9", 160 pounds, but 8 catches last week and 2 runs for 34 yards.
Yeah, we looked at his stats from last week. He's not a big guy, very productive player, and also eager on the outside, number 1.
McReynolds stutter steps, dives inside the 40 down to the 38. It's going to bring up 3rd and short for the Yellow Jackets now, as we're inside 4.5 to go in the opening quarter.
He's just different than any running back we've seen. And he's different than the running back we saw last year. Same guy.
See Chris Harbin in there, number 14, big receiver, 6'4", 170 pounds. He's a big target on the outside, and he draws up against Willie Butler for the Spartans on 3rd and short. Jenkins in there on the right side as well, and another pre-snap penalty against McGill. 3rd and 3 is going to turn into 3rd and 8.
Well, McGill wants to know what went wrong today. They just all can look in the mirror.
False start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, replay 3rd down.
At least the start of this game, that's been the case with the special teams and also offensively with the line jumping several times.
McConnell Collision. Flag backs up. McGill here, 3rd and 8 for the Yellow Jackets. Murchison rolls out, pressure coming from the backside, throws and tries to come to Jenkins, and it's incomplete, and it will bring up 4th down.
Make a note of that.
I thought we did previously on this drive. There was some confusion on 3rd and 4. Where's Jim Bibby watching the game when we need him to send us a text to break down the officiating film, right?
I'm going to see if I got any texts here about that situation.
BLP Mobile Paint. 100 years celebrating. Great tradition there, and showing off the great support of our student body here. Saraland fans happy with the stop. Shine to kick it off, and you got Jarrell Williams and CJ Mack back deep. And now everyone from McGill had
delay a game on the offense, 5-yard penalty, replay 4th down.
McConnell Collision Center now offers virtual estimates. You can just snap a few photos of your damage and upload it to their website, and you can get an estimate as to what you think it's going to cost to repair your vehicle. Now, 4th and 13 with pressure coming. There's McAlpine trying to charge in there. High punt. Saraland just stays away from it. Takes a good McGill bounce down to the 9-yard line. McGill had the ball for over 4.5 minutes there, and they come away empty and chase Saraland all the way back. Inside their 10, and a chance they can maybe now flip the field and get a short field here if they could come up with a good defensive stop. And we'll get a timeout. 3:36 to go in the first. Saraland on top, and a penalty-filled occasion to start this one 3-0 on Wendy's Friday Night Rivals. Just 3.5 to go in the opening quarter. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, Heather Healy down on the sidelines. Friday Night Rivals, Jared Kihas in the truck. Jeff Kelly and the Spartans take over, pin back deep in their own end here. Reynolds. The inside give there to Willie Butler. Butler, you know, who's played some back there in the past couple of years. He's kind of a home run threat. He's a big play guy. You know, he's an outstanding cornerback, and he's a big play guy who can really rip a long one off there. And kind of need a spark on this offense. Didn't score last week. Scored just 2 touchdowns against Theodore.
Yeah, so McGill was a victim of the big play over and over again against Pike Road.
Reynolds looking to air it out, wants Williams, and he overthrew him by 2 steps. He had Braden Turner was there stride for stride, but that one had a chance. Turner going to Northwestern. He's going to see a lot of receivers that size playing for the Wildcats.
Yeah, a couple of Division I guys right there. Williams is really talented and big.
3rd and 6. Here for the Spartans, pinned back deep in the junior. Gabe Reynolds. Play clock, plenty of time. Reynolds steps up in the pocket. Now wants to try to scramble, holds onto it, does a nice job to get that one complete over on the far side. Matthew Milner, the senior tight end. Wow, Reynolds keeps his eyes downfield here and finds a little outlet here, Dan. That's a big-time play, but they're going to say he was, out of bounds.
Yeah, wow, that was close. Nice attempt by Milner, but looks like he was out of bounds. McGill gets exactly what they want. They're probably going to get the ball back in decent shape, although this kid can really kick it for Saraland. Ooh, Lord.
Stephen Keena comes in with a big, that could have been a late hit, and it was also up in the face mask area.
I thought that should have been flagged.
So Jack Smith, who has a huge leg, as we said, he's going to Clemson to punt for Dabo. And now a delay a game penalty. The Spartans going to back him up not all that much on a
Delay a game on the offense. 5-yard penalty, half the distance. Replay 4th down.
Yeah, just a half the distance McConnell collision flag there, and that'll move up Braden Turner inside the 50. And like we said, his chance to flip the field, get some really good field position. And
Jim mentioned no small story that he will be a scholarship player at Northwestern, great school up in Chicago.
Smith, the high punt, chases Turner all the way back to the 46. Turner breaks a tackle inside the 40, now the 30. Turner still inside the 20, on his feet, gets around the punter, and he's down to the 11.
Look at this. I mean, that's Willie Mays. He's going back, has to catch it over his shoulder.
44 yards on the return.
It's the punter that helps get him to the ground. McGill is in good shape now, right around the 12-yard line.
McGill needs one more number 5 player and needs one more person over here trying to explain to me. One's got white sleeves but black shoelaces.
Yes. Makes sense to me. So there's 2 number 5s, both play quarterback.
Both, look a lot alike. McReynolds on the direct snap slips a tackle and is pushed out of bounds around the 6-yard line. Darius Washington filling in for the injured Tyler Thompson at linebacker. There for the Spartans. Kelly Finley, our longtime friend, longtime viewer, watching the game tonight.
Excellent.
Kids go to Saraland, so she might be a little biased, cheering for Sparty tonight, she says. She's watching the game. Always love to get a chance to work with Kelly. A lot of fun things on TV together, and just one of our all-time favorites. And McReynolds.
A great member of the media for sure, when she was.
McReynolds gives this one. No, he does pull it down, and he's got it for the touchdown.
Why would he pitch it to anybody else?
But there's a flag on the far side. Flag where it looks like it's going to be, it's where you usually get the pre-snap, and this one's going to take a McGill touchdown off the board.
Penalties, my word.
That is going to be number 8, I believe, on McGill.
We're in the first quarter, Jim.
Legal formation.
Just lined up illegally, but you can see McReynolds has a little space one-on-one against a linebacker there. It's just not fair.
No, I mean, you can see right there. He's a dynamic player.
So now, second down after the 5-yard backup. They can get a first down. They're at the 12. And they'll stay with Murchison. Jenkins comes in motion. Murchison has that one tipped away as Jimmy Bird, who had a big hit on Murchison earlier on this one. They were trying to go to Jenkins, and Bird got his hand up to tip that one away. It'll bring up third down. Really nice play on the edge here by Bird as he jumps in front of the intended receiver. And now third down here. Murchison rolls, looks, wanted to set. Now he's going to try to pull it down. Still looking to the end zone. Rifles one, incomplete. It's a long time to ask those DBs to cover on that play.
I agree, yeah.
Did a good job, and they're going to bring up fourth down.
Yeah, J.J. Jenkins, the big tight end in the picture over there. I'm not sure if that was the intended target. McGill usually with a pretty good place kicker to.
So, penalty takes that touchdown off the board. Now they'll try to tie it up with Shine. This will be a 30-yard field goal.
10 seconds to snap it.
Will Taylor will hold. Left-footed kicker. Going to get the snap off, Dan Brennan? They just do. And the kick is no good. So a penalty takes it off the board. And then a 30-yard field goal attempt missed by Shine. And Saraland's defense, after their special teams gave up the 44-yard return, able to hold there. And
the line of scrimmage for McGill defensively has been fine tonight. It's been a lot of everything else.
So update you on some other scores. Daphne leading Fairhope 10-3. Spanish Fort 14-0 in a battle of unbeaten teams in this region. St. Paul's on top of Williamson 3-0. Faith all over Alberta 29-0. Scoreless in the second between Blunt and McGill. UMS 17-0 on top.
Who?
I'm sorry, Blunt and Baldwin County.
Okay.
Thank you. UMS on top of LaFleur 17-0. Davidson and Murphy scoreless. Reynolds give on the near side. And it's the freshman Santee McWilliams who had the big gainer on the fake punt that gave Saraland their 3 points thus far. And we'll see Jarrell Williams to the bottom of the screen. McReynolds looks back over at the Saraland sideline, gives last little bit of instruction here. So he's got Butler in the backfield with him again. High snap. Butler takes it on the left side, and here's that home run that Jeff Kelly talked about he's capable of producing, and he's up to the 12, and he'll pick up 7 on this one, and that's good for a first down.
Out to about the 32-yard line. I think that's a big first down for this team, Jim. They just need to settle down, get something started in the right direction.
You see the speed there of Butler as well. USA Mitchell Cancer Center Prostate Awareness Month going on in September. Throughout the month of September, Friday Night Rivals is going blue in partnership with USA Medical Center for Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. Reynolds looking to fire, wants to air it out, falling down and open on the far side is Williams inside the 10. Touchdown.
Well, you knew
67 yards.
They were going to attack that McGill secondary. That's what the tape told them. And they do it right there with a great player, Williams. Fine young man, too. We had him on the pregame show a couple of weeks back.
His first touchdown reception of the season. Then he was starting to get a little separation, and then the DB fell down.
One-on-one with the corner there, Jim.
Good throw by Reynolds, too. And the junior has his second touchdown throw of the year, and Kirkland to try to make it a 10-0 Saraland lead. And he does. So Williams, he'd only had 6 catches thus far this season, so they wanted to get him more. He had one earlier, and all alone up the far sideline, and easy pitch and catch when the defender fell down, and Williams has Saraland on top 10-0. Boy, that's got to feel good. They were shut out last week. That might come up in conversation later on throughout the evening here.
Yeah, this is probably the best Jeff Kelly's felt all season so far in the middle of the game. Up 10-0, big play from one of the members of your team that you hope makes a big play in a game. In Williams.
So our BLP Mobile Paints paint the school's color cam. And now Braden Turner will stand back deep, looking to return this one as we've got just 7 seconds left in the opening quarter.
He almost took that punt to the house, so we know what he can do.
See if maybe we see a higher, shorter kick trying to keep it out of his hands. Kirkland tries to go the big leg route, and he does as he sends Turner all the way back into the end zone. What a weapon back there.
Also be interesting to see if we ever see
Michael Crocker come in at quarterback.
Well, actually talking about the corner playing a little offense for McGill too if they get stalled a little bit.
Yeah, bring Turner over there.
Yeah.
I don't think Braylon McReynolds is voting for anybody else to come in to touch the football, do you?
No, he's a warrior.
And they'll stay with, we have confirmed it is the freshman Andrew Murchison. So he was not even here for the game 2 weeks ago. He was sick. So this is his first high school football game, and he's out there starting against Saraland. Looking at Trayvon McAlpine, 6'3", 275 across from him. All right, first quarter in the books. Saraland playing their 3rd straight road game to open the season on top 10-0 after 1. That's us here at McGill-Toolen as we are ready to start the second quarter here at the Lip. 2nd and 9. Reynolds turns the corner. He's going to be right at the sticks before he's ridden down. It's going to be good for the first down. And Heather, we talked about McConnell Collision Center a lot there in that first half for all the wrong reasons, right? We'll go back to Heather and remind you this is a USA Mitchell Cancer Center first down. And McReynolds in the backfield with the freshman Murchison. Jenkins heads off in motion. And again, McReynolds, boy, he gets low down in there and gets behind. Tough to see. Let's go back down to Heather Healy on the sidelines. Heather.
Yeah, guys, let's talk about these penalties in the first quarter with McGill. 6 alone, and it was just 12 minutes of play compared to Saraland's 2. A lot that this home team's got to clean up, guys.
Yeah, that's something you're used to seeing from a McGill team.
You used to not seeing?
Yeah, used to not seeing penalties like that on a McGill team.
So my apologies, it's 6 rather than 8, but 6 is way too much in 1 quarter of play. It's actually cost some points.
2nd and short. Look at that stutter step there by McReynolds. He's got the first down to the 48-yard line. USA Cancer Center, first down. Watch this little move here. Like, oh.
Who have you seen that runs this way, right?
And it was Justin Roberson, who's a 2-year starter at safety.
Yeah.
But at that point, you're just like, hey, I got to keep him just not getting around me.
Jeff Kelly says this is his best unit, the defensive backfield unit that he's ever had, as far as 4 solid guys on the field at the same time. And they're having a lot of trouble with this guy.
At the 48. Right back to McReynolds, change of direction. And it came back into Jimmy Bird and company there. And
boy, this kid, he just gives, he's really quick, obviously, but he gives so much effort on every play. Just a tough, tough guy. Going to get a breather here, and I don't blame him.
Just a gain of 1 second and 9, and Trey Inge will come up there. Already 82 yards on the ground for McReynolds. Quick fire to the near side and dropped as they were looking for Chris Harbin, the senior. That was a well-thrown ball by the freshman there.
Really was. Harbin's got the big, long legs, 6'4", 170. Quick slant. He's one-on-one. Just does not catch the ball.
God, able to catch that. He's got all the momentum going away from the defender as well.
Yeah.
Freshman Murchison with a good throw, but now 3rd and 9. And they'll keep Inge in the backfield, and Taylor and Eager up to the top of the screen, and 3rd and long here for McGill-Toolen. Looking over the middle, able to get that one to Jenkins, and the tight end has got it to the 35. Pickup of 17.
I'll give the freshman quarterback a lot of credit, because not only did he get the first one where it needed to go, he's got to do it again, and he puts it right on the fingertips of Jenkins.
Jenkins had 3 catches 2 weeks ago in the season opener against Pike Road. And now McGill on the move at the 35.
They can throw it a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Came up to the 32 there for junior Trey Inge. Had a touchdown rushing last week. McGill had 6 rushing touchdowns in that
loss
in that game. Yeah.
Yeah.
2nd and 7. Eager comes in motion. They go right back to Inge, a bigger back, and he's found some room, and he's inside the 20 to the 18-yard line.
Well, he doesn't look bad either, Jim. Inge with a nice move.
Picks up 12.
Straight handoff. Good blocking again up front again. The coach tells me the offensive line, maybe not a bunch of stars, but he really likes the way they work as a unit. They've looked good again tonight.
Yeah, you talking to him in pregame and talked about how he liked how they did play last week, the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Near side. Spinning is Braden Turner down to the 8. See if they give him enough for the first down or knock him just short. They're going to give him 9 yards.
Yeah, there he is on offense a little bit. I did not know we were going to see that, but the quarterback, obviously a talented guy with the ball in his hands.
We haven't seen McReynolds in 4 or 5 straight plays. Came out earlier on this drive and has not gone back in yet. 2nd and less than a yard.
He's in there right now.
Okay. And he'll take the pitch, bobble it a little bit, try to get to the corner. He's going to get the first down.
Everything went to the boundary. They shot it back out to the field side, and you know, you're defending McReynolds and Turner.
Yeah,
that's a problem.
Turner taking the direct snap there, and another USA Mitchell Center. Cancer Center first down. September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, and it's important to educate yourself on prostate cancer. It's the most common type of cancer found in men, but when caught early, there is a 100% survival rate. And 1st and goal for the Yellow Jackets. McReynolds on the direct snap. Tries to push. As he got down low again and tried to sneak it in there, but he's going to get it down to the 1. Lost his helmet, so he's going to have to come out for a play. That will not make a running back happy when it's on the 1-yard line.
No, because the way this line's getting pushed, looks like somebody's about to go in, but if it was McReynolds, you could almost guarantee it. McGill's got to get a touchdown here, Jim. What we've seen here in the first half, just too many penalties and just disorganized. Touchdown puts him right back in the game. Norman Joseph, their head coach, he likes what he sees from this running game, I'll tell you that.
2nd and goal, Inge in the backfield. He'll take it. Inge, big hit, but stays on his feet, and he falls in for the touchdown. Oh, he took a big hit. He's able to stay on his feet and get in for the touchdown, his 2nd of the year.
These McGill backs, both of them run really hard. You can talk about McReynolds probably got an advantage in terms of quickness, maybe speed, but both of them just battlers. And they go to the same barber.
Shine will try to make this a 3-point game. And that one blocked. So he's perfect last week, missed a 30-yarder, and then McGill comes up short on the PAT, but watch the big hit at the end of that play.
Yeah.
But he got it in. It's now 10-6, Saraland with the lead halfway through quarter number 2. McGill gets a touchdown there and on the board. Saraland still with a 10-6 lead here, but across the bay, Daphne a 17-3 lead over Fairhope in Fairhope.
Daphne looks like a really good team this year. We'll see when we get a chance to see them. Kenny King got it going on.
CJ Mack, Jarrell Williams, and Santi McWilliams back, and Shine sends this one into the end zone. And Saraland will start out here at the 20.
They haven't done much, but what they did was one big play. Goes to Jarrell Williams, a long pass for the touchdown. They also got some help from McGill penalties to get down and kick a field goal.
So we mentioned last week, Saraland was shut out 41-0 at the hands of Hewitt-Trussville. Before last week, when was the last time a Jeff Kelly coached team was shut out?
Okay. I've got a thought.
Okay. We'll find out in the second half. Reynolds, far side, able to get that one complete to Williams, and he'll pick up about 7.
You got 2 Williams wide receivers, by the way.
Yeah, not related. You got Ryan, the freshman.
Right, and Jarrell is the senior.
I think we're maybe get our heat timeout here. Oh, no, looks like they're going to. Nope. This will be another McConnell Collision Center penalty, this one against Saraland.
Ineligible downfield. 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
It'll make it a 1st and 15.
After a long night 2 weeks ago, McGill defense, for the most part, playing pretty well.
And now, get a timeout. I'm not sure if McGill called it or if it was a heat timeout. McGill had some personnel challenges out there. Either way, we'll take a break and come back. 5:53 to go in the second. 10-6, Spartans on top of the Yellow Jackets here on Friday Night Rivals. First and 15 here for the Spartans with a 4-point lead. Gabe Reynolds at quarterback. Former quarterback from Saraland, Jack West, starting tomorrow for Stanford against Kansas State.
Wow, didn't know that.
Jarrell Williams on a little inside slant. Gets wrapped up, gain only a couple. Williams been a target here tonight. Obviously, you want to get that talented senior involved in the offense as much as you can. They pick up 3. Second and 12. This is Cam Lafitte, the sophomore. Bangs it ahead. He loses his helmet.
A lot of that going around. McGill defense looking at a 3rd down. Chance to get the D off the field. Saraland's going to spread them out.
Third down and 6. That one behind Williams.
He knew right where he wanted to go with the ball, Jim. There wasn't any doubt about that. He just off target a little bit. Well, Williams no doubt catches that ball. So the MAC-T gets a break and about to get the ball.
Bring up the Saraland punt team, and we've seen the 44-yard return by Braden Turner already tonight for McGill, and he'll stand back around his own 40. Justin Smith again with another good kick, and this takes a Saraland bounce, but Turner takes it at the 28, still on his feet. Return it 17 yards up to the 45. And want to thank Wendy's, being our presenting sponsor of high school football here on Friday Night Rivals. Also want to thank Andy Citron Injury Attorneys, always bringing you the Scholastic Athlete of the Week. He's going to give one of our Scholastic athletes a $5,000 scholarship at the end of this season. Merchant looks to come to Jenkins, and that one just a touch behind him.
Had a couple of guys open there.
Let's see why they want to get Jenkins, 6'3", 200 pounds, why they want to get him as involved as much as they can offensively. He's a weapon.
Good size, 200 and 6'3". Chris Harbin was also out there, 6'4", 170, the wideout.
Alvin Edwards, a senior now, checks in. He's a big target too, 6'4". Number 10 for McGill-Toolen. Come on, an end around to Will Taylor, and Taylor across midfield, and he's going to get the first down right to the 45-yard line. USA Health Mitchell Cancer Center Prostate Awareness Month. First down here for the Yellow Jackets.
Boy, you love Will Taylor, don't you? We looked at his stats, and we looked at him. We were like, wait a minute, now that guy had that big a game a couple of weeks ago, and he did. He's really very productive.
Had 39 yards on just 2 carries last week to go along with his 8 catches. First down at the 45 for McGill as we're inside 4 minutes to go. Murchison with pressure, steps up, hit. Got drilled from the backside by Clint Smith just as he let that one go.
They had it set up. They had a screen to, of all people, Braylon McReynolds, blockers in front. I'm not saying it was clean, but for him, does it have to be clean?
Just needs a little space, but watch the pressure from the backside by Smith.
Blew up that play. There is McReynolds right to the bottom of the screen. Blockers in front of him.
Welcome to 6A
Yeah.
Region 1 football.
But the young kid hasn't played bad.
Hasn't looked like the moment's too big for him either.
No.
Second down for the Jackets. They fake it to Taylor this time. They want to set up the screen again. They're able to get it off to McReynolds, and Saraland's defense saw that one coming, and then he's going to get just to the line of scrimmage. And 3rd and 10 coming up. Smith chasing that one down as well. We got an injured Yellow Jacket. That might be Jenkins. There's a lot of bodies. Not a lot of room.
That was a pile up right there. A lot of people trying to run down the screenplay. And Jenkins just got in the middle of it.
No gain, and it will bring up 3rd and 10. Jenkins right at the bottom of your screen there. Ooh. Trayvon McAlpine and his 275 pounds rolling into him.
He's feeling it right now on that replay.
As they look at his left knee, he's going to pop up. There, and hopefully that young man will be able to get back into the action here. McAlpine got pushed from, kind of pushed from behind.
That leg was almost going the wrong way there, so see how the young guy's feeling on the sideline.
And so it'll be 3rd and 10. James Mayall comes in to replace Jenkins. Turner keeps it himself, tried to turn it inside, and then got hit by Jacob Patterson, who was the second one in there after he turned around. And Patterson, a 260-pound junior, put a big lick in on that one. And
Saraland defense again. They were faced with the option of either McReynolds or Braden Turner, and they played well.
Yeah, Keaton Law was the one who stood him up, and then Patterson finished him off. Williams and Mack, high snap. Shine with a good punt. Williams hoping it's going to make it into the end zone, and it does. The official on the goal line here said he did not keep it out of the end zone. It was a great attempt. Hustling down there, and once Williams let that one bounce, he was like, ooh, I hope that goes in the end zone.
He did, yes.
And it'll be back to the 20-yard line. McConnell Collision Center, another part of high school football here on Friday Night Rivals. We appreciate them being back here with us, and also the Drug Education Council and the USA Mitchell Center Cancer Institute.
Louis Arata, by the way, he's in used cars sales over there at McConnell Automotive. An alum of McGill-Toolen. I'm sure he's watching tonight.
Saying that as they pitch it back to the near side and trying to turn the corner and making some space is Roberson, the starting safety. A little razzle dazzle, got it up to all that for a 5-yard gain.
He made a couple of guys miss, so he kept that out of the being a disaster. And now we got another timeout, and it looks like McGill's going to call it.
So they do take a timeout with 2:13 left here. McGill will get the ball to start the second half.
Well, you're looking at the defense. It beats 55. They had a hard time with Pike Road 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
And much improvement on the defense. They got to be really happy with that.
Saraland, and Jeff Kelly was talking to us in the pregame show and saying, I'm seeing improvements. We get young guys who are playing and getting that experience, and it hasn't always translated to points on the board, but you're seeing those little incremental improvements. Saraland with the 4-point advantage. Reynolds from the 25, rolling out, launches that one into a dangerous situation. Boy, had a chance to get Ryan Williams there, who I think might have been a little surprised the ball ended up to him and didn't get knocked away.
He had 3 Jackets back there. Throw on the run. Boy, it was actually there. Good throw. Really good throw. Really good play by Reynolds. The young guy can't hold on. We're at 3rd down now?
Now it's going to be another penalty here. 5-yard infraction.
You know, but for one play, this McGill defense has been very solid tonight.
I would agree.
No resemblance of the catastrophe that happened a couple of weeks ago. Playing very well.
So it'll stay 2nd down, but now 2nd and 10. Engelbert goes in motion. Pump fake. Reynolds wants Engelbert, and he was just too far in front of him. I think maybe Reynolds might have had a little more time to deliver that one than he thought there.
Yeah, maybe, but you could see it coming with the pump fake, and you could see that the safeties are not back deep for McGill, so a lot of one-on-one coverage on the outside, and Engelbert, that swift army knife, just sneaks out there, and it seemed that the McGill player kind of tugged him a little bit as he got past him. No call.
So stops the clock with 2 minutes left at 3rd and 10. Saraland will empty the backfield. Williams in the slot to the bottom of the screen. He matches up against Braden Turner. Roscoe Haywood, the sophomore, lined up there against Engelbert. Stepping up middle of the field. That one's nearly intercepted. He wanted to get it to Williams, but just hanging and waiting on that one was Alex Schamberger, the junior, and it hit him right in the hands. And that was nearly a pick with a lot of green in front of Schamberger.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Schamberger in a good spot. Watch him right there. At free safety, has a chance, well, a really good chance to come down with that one.
It was a little short and behind Williams. So Saraland doesn't burn much time off the clock there on that drive. Now with 1:55. High snap over the head of Jack Smith out of the end zone for a safety. Smith is 6'6" and had no chance at that one.
We have seen deplorable special teams play tonight. And now on both sides.
I mean,
how do you snap it over him?
And it was not even close. And so McGill gets 2 points.
Oh Lord, that was our. Yeah, that was Engelbert in a snapper. He's a guy that kind of does everything dependably.
A little Swiss Army tool.
Yeah, not on that one.
Our BLP Paint's another one of our great supporters here, and special teams continue to be a part. We've had a fake by Saraland, a 44-yard return by McGill. The Saraland fake set up their first
score
field goal. Then you also had a missed field goal on special teams by McGill-Toolen.
A blocked extra point.
Had a blocked extra point, and now you have a snap that goes over the head of the 6'6" Jack Smith punter.
If you're a young football player watching this game, examining it play by play, we would say forget everything you've seen in the first half. Let's start fresh in the second half. But meanwhile, we're not at the second half yet, Jim. McGill's probably got designs on scoring right here.
They have 2 timeouts left and just under 2 minutes. Kirkland sends this one down. It was a knee down. Oh, boy, it looked really close, like McReynolds might have had Braden Turner, excuse me, I had a knee down when he caught that one. He's up to the 41. Oh, now he looks a little slow to get up, and that would be a blow.
That looked dangerous right there. He had him by one leg, and he hops up. Maybe he's going to be okay. McGill, they've shown that Murchison, the freshman, not afraid to throw, and they're not afraid to call his number to throw it. He's been rather accurate today.
From the 44. We go with McReynolds in the role of quarterback here on the high snap off his hands, and he's chased back to the 35, but he's still on his feet, and he's into Saraland territory up to the 44-yard line, and he'll pick up 10.
Dare I say Barry Sanders?
Yeah, boy, it's even some college colors that look kind of the same, right? For
Okie State, yeah. Man, and if you don't know who he is, go to YouTube and enjoy yourself.
First down, Murchison gives it back off. And McReynolds was falling forward, took a big hit, and he's inside the 40 down to the 39-yard line.
Not only elusive and great moves and quickness, he will fight you on every play. Gotta love that kid.
Look at that, 101 yards already here in the first half, and McGill takes their second timeout. And next week we've got the Battle of Old Shell Road. UMS and St. Paul's. Of course, that's a region game now.
Yeah, let's lop something else on top of that one to make it even more interesting.
St. Paul's was leading 3-0. Last score I had over Williamson UMS was easily handling the floor. See if we can get an updated score. Spanish Fort on top of Gulf Shores in the same region, 21-7. St. Paul's now up 10-0. Robertsdale leading Citronelle, Chickasaw, and Hillcrest. Evergreen tied at 8 apiece. 17-10 in the third quarter. Daphne over Fairhope. Scoreless between Blunt and Baldwin County at the half.
Wow.
Second down here for McGill. To the outside, McReynolds.
Smart play.
Yep, got a big hit from Law right at the boundary. Law, who's played really well from that nose position for Saraland the first 3 weeks. Clock is stopped, going to bring up third down at the 37.
Maybe Heather can check on the condition of Jenkins, who went out with a leg injury earlier. Got rolled up by the big defensive tackle, McAlpine for Saraland.
So now they got the down and distance marker. They're gonna have to. So they got to mark something off here because they had the down and distance marker not at the same point, and this is gonna be a 10-yard walk off against.
3 plays, second down.
I guess just 5. So back to the 44-yard line. 2nd and 10 for McGill. Another McConnell Collision Center penalty. Murchison able to get that one off to Mayhall, the backup tight end, and James Mayhall, the sophomore, has got it complete. And he's up to the 26-yard line.
This kid was an 8th grader at St. Ignatius last year. He's playing great. Likes that slant.
It's up 19. McReynolds to the outside, and that's going to be a holding call as he gets down to the 20. We're down to 37 seconds with McGill with 1 timeout. And Don English.
Holding on the offense. Be a 10-yard foul from the spot of the foul and replay first down.
Two jurors in the box that threw the flag on that one, so I guess it happened. It was out on the edges. They're trying to give McReynolds a little extra room. He doesn't need much. If it's between holding and letting a guy free, I say let him free and let him have to deal with McReynolds.
You have the right to tell your insurance company who repairs your vehicle. Tell them you want McConnell Collision Center. You maybe just don't want as many penalties as we've seen here. Murchison looking for the far corner, hangs it up there, and it's incomplete. Butler closed the gap, and that one hung up in the air, and Butler was able to get down there to knock that one away. And Murchison, a good heave down from the 35, got that all the way inside the 5.
He might have got hit right after the throw, too. Keep an eye on this.
Watch Butler come over there and.
Oh, wow, good play, Butler. That probably was going to end up out of bounds anyway, but that's an excellent play by a really good cornerback.
Yeah, hustled there to force Eager out and knock it away at the same time. 2nd and 20. Murchison wants the screen.
Boy, that's a
great hustle coming from the backside. McAlpine there.
Great play. Blew up that play, and that was what you just called it, pure backside hustle by McAlpine.
Going to TCU next year on 3rd down. This might be the last play. Murchison has that one overthrown, and they stop the clock with 1 second left. And now they'll run it down to 0, and Jeff Kelly says he's yelling at the Spartans to get off the field. There was 1 second, and then
there wasn't.
Yeah, now the official's going to try to bring him back out. The official's going to say there's 1 second left. You usually see that. So now they're going to add 2 seconds to the clock. It's going to bring up 4th down. It would be a 47-yard field goal from here.
Huh. Okay.
And they're going to try it. Shine missed from 30 earlier. It's to the near hash. Jeff Kelly's going to let Michael Shine think about this one a little more. So Shine missed one, and Saraland did block a PAT earlier. Shine's got a big leg. We've seen it before. Saw it last year here at McGill.
Yeah, we were watching him in pregame.
Mm-hmm.
I think I saw him operate from right here. Is he 47 out right now?
Yep, it'll be spotted at the.
Saw him from 45 yards. And was able to get a few through.
This would give McGill the lead.
Incredible. This game's had like different personalities, start and stop, no real rhythm to it. Special teams having some trouble. A lot of people jumping off sides.
A lot of mention of McConnell Collision Center.
Yeah, they're getting their money's worth today.
Will Taylor will hold. Will Coggin is the long snapper. And Jarrell Williams will go stand back in the end zone.
We've seen that play before.
Shine has got it, and McGill has an 11-10 lead. I almost thought for a second like that sounded like that ball was tipped for a second, but
I think he just hit it so hard.
He hammered it through, and it's 11-10 McGill with a safety and a field goal and a touchdown. And how do you think team in red and silver is feeling about those 2 seconds they had it back on the clock there at the end of that last play? Let's go down to
observation.
Head down on the field. Heather's got Coach Norman.
All right, Coach, exhilarating into the half. What'd you think?
Well, I thought our guys continued to play hard and fast. We got a couple breaks along the way. We stopped them when deep in their territory and got good field position, and we were able to get some points on the board right before the half.
Talk about the penalties and what you're going to do to clean that up.
We got to clean that up big time. That's a big time issue. There's some noise that's affecting us. We got to clean that up.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Guys.
All right, great job. Thanks, Heather, for catching up with Coach Norman Joseph, who takes the lead at 11-10 with the.
I mean, Saraland plays the entire first half with the lead pretty much.
Yep.
Probably feeling pretty good about themselves, and
till now. So halftime.
47-yarder.
11-10. McGill-Toolen leads Saraland. It's week 1, 6A Region 1 play here on Friday Night Rivals at the Lip. Well, it's an odd score, and it's been kind of an odd first half of football.
I would say so.
11-10 McGill-Toolen with the lead.
What went as planned? Nothing. And when you put your special teams out on the field, good luck.
Now, there has been a lot of points produced on special teams, both in the good and bad way if you're looking on each side of the equation.
Yeah, so Saraland, their offense, not a whole lot going on. They got the one big play, and that counts too, of course.
Jarrell Williams with the long touchdown reception.
Yeah, and the quarterback has looked pretty good. Gabe Reynolds has made that throw and a couple of others that probably should have been called. On the other side, on McGill, two things stand out offensively. Number one is freshman quarterback thrown into the fire, not too shaky.
Yep.
Number two, McReynolds is kind of shaky. He's shifty, shaky, he moves. He's really a fine football player.
All right, every week we give you 3 players to vote on at the end of the game, and last week it was all Spanish Fort. They dominated over there defensively. Carl Fontroy Jr., we've been watching him, and he played great last week. Had the interception, had the breakup, and we've been watching him roam back there in the secondary for years, Dan Brennan.
He looked like a college player in that game. He's going to UAB.
Yep.
So we were kind of keeping our eye on him. Sometimes you can have a player you've been told about before the game, a secondary guy, not really in the mix too much. Not him. He was dead in the middle of everything. Here you go with the pickoff right there.
The pick 6, and he kind of may have baited the young quarterback into that toss there and took it all the way to the house, and that solidified the player of the game for Carl Fontroy Jr. of Spanish Fort. And Herc Rentals gives you the player of the game each and every week. And
I applaud the voters on that one, Jim. They got it right.
That was good work on you. Herc Reynolds, 275 locations across North America, from small hand tools and construction equipment to specialized pumps, power, and HVAC equipment. Herc offers it all, whether you're a weekend warrior or have specialized engineered rental needs. Herc Reynolds, they have got you covered. Halftime here at the Lip. McGill-Toolen with a late field goal of 47 yards to take the lead, 11-10. Here's our halftime score here on Wendy's Friday Night Rivals. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, statistician back here.
Game at Wrigley Field with the wind blowing out, you know?
I think Dave Kingman just took one across Waveland.
Mike Schmidt is in his third.
Oh, we had lots of great high school football going on all around the country last week, and so let's take a look at some of the other great Friday Night Rivals plays from all around right here on UTV 44.
Again, he's getting better at it. This is a much better high hanging kick. Garcia, spin move. Coming to the other side. Can he pick up some blocks? He does. Garcia sheds a tackle to the other side. It's hard to take down Gavin Garcia. He wheels it in for a Tiger touchdown.
Owens being rushed, stays on his feet and brought down by Lichtenberger.
Clear it out up the far side, looking for Godfrey. He's got him at the 40, complete to the 38-yard line.
Osborne to the air, and he's got a receiver out there, and it is complete.
They're going to throw. Now he's going to run. Evans has the 20. Evans is going to score. Touchdown.
And the southpaw escapes. Fornari, some space there on the outside, dumps it off. It's juggled and caught for the touchdown.
Racy gets hit immediately, but breaks the tackle. And he has some room. He has room down the sideline. It's one man to beat. He may cut it back. Oh my goodness, what fancy footwork. That is going to be a touchdown. Camden, touchdown for Trez Racy. What a play at the game.
For the record, not one Bishop Sycamore highlight in that package. All the great highlights from all around the country of Friday night rivals, such a great tradition, not just here, but all across the great land of ours.
Very, very good. Let's take a look at our Scholastic Athletes of the Week now. Saraland Spartans. We met this young man.
Wonderful in the pregame show.
Really good football player, too. Claudel C.J. Mack, 3.29 GPA, football and baseball. He's a center fielder on the baseball team. That makes sense. Graduating with advanced academic endorsement, majoring in sports management. They've got a lot of good programs up in Saraland.
Also, the best pants ever worn by a player on a pregame show.
What color were they?
Mauve.
They were very nice. McGill-Toolen's contribution to the Scholastic Athlete happens to be Will Coggin. He's on the field today. He's a linebacker. 4.0 GPA. Football, obviously. The Green Club, President's List, key club. Checking a lot of boxes. Will Coggin, our McGill-Toolen Yellow Jacket Scholastic Athlete of the Week.
Brought to you by Andy Citron Injury Attorneys, and they're going to donate a $5,000 scholarship to one of our Scholastic athletes during the 2021 season. Halftime score here at McGill-Toolen at the Lip, 11-10. McGill-Toolen on top. They'll get the ball back to start the second half as well. Good crowd here at the Lip on a Friday night. 6A Region 1 play starting up. McGill-Toolen 0-1. Lost 2 weeks ago to Pike Road and Saraland after two 7A non-region matchups. 0-2 coming into this one to open things up. A close game here tonight. I don't think we're surprised that the score is close at halftime. Just a little surprised how we got here.
I think we're completely surprised by everything we've seen so far tonight. It's just been kind of a herky-jerky game. Special teams problems. Way too many penalties for this. It's still kind of early in the year, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, lots of penalties on both sides, and touchdown taken off the board, as a matter of fact, by McGill-Toolen with a penalty. But here was Saraland. This is their big play, and Reynolds getting more and more comfortable there, and Jarrell Williams, the DB, fell down, and then he turns on the speed, and he's got the touchdown. And Williams, at that point, put Saraland on top by a score of 10-0, and then Trey Inge able to bang it in for the touchdown there. Then there was a snap over the head of the Saraland punter. That made it 10-8. And then a 47-yard field goal by Michael Shine to make it 11-10 at the half. And you see what's going on there. The total yards, not that much distance, but it just felt like McGill was doing more offensively, Dan.
They did. 10 first downs to 2 right there. It's really one big play for Saraland. Got them the touchdown and pretty much kept them in the lead most of the half.
All right, so our halftime score 11-10, and we heard from Coach Norman Joseph as he was getting ready to get off there and talk to Heather about the penalties. They had to do that, but he was really happy with the way his kids played. And as Saraland was coming out onto the field, Heather caught up with Coach Jeff Kelly, and let's find out from her right now what he had to say.
Yeah, guys, head coach Jeff Kelly, very, very short in his comments. He said, this is a new game. This is a new ball game in this second half. He made sure to tell me that they're going to stop Reynolds no matter what, or Mick Reynolds, I should say, in this second half. But he said, make sure to watch because it's going to be a brand new ball game for these Saraland Spartans, guys.
All right, let's.
Oh, well, if you've watched Mick Reynolds run in the first half, that's quite a declaration.
Yep. Halftime score 11-10. We'll come back, start quarter number 3 right after this. We are ready to, and when I say we're ready, we are ready to get the second half going here in this one.
We are ready. We're ready to see if a lot of those mistakes kind of get cleaned up. You know, coaches will always tell you that before the break. Yeah, we got to clean this up, we got to clean that up, but it was pretty obvious what needed to be cleaned up in the first half. It was just kind of a curious game. McGill's got the lead after not having the lead pretty much the entire first half. Not that they played that poorly, because they actually have outgained Saraland, or 10 first downs to 2 anyway. They've been they've had a better job offensively in a consistent fashion than Saraland has, that's for sure.
And like you said, there was no flow kind of on either side, and all those penalties always hurt the flow of a game as well. It just never got any rhythm going on either side here. So, you know, with all the special teams talk, you know, do you do something a little crazy coming?
Probably kick it through the end zone.
Coming out here. All right. They didn't. They kicked it to the 2. Some room Eager back there to the 31-yard line. And say McGill with the big loss to open things up. Then at Gulf Shores, who's trailing Spanish Fort next week for a region matchup. Citronelle, then 3 in a row. Road games Murphy, Baldwin County, and Robertsdale. Then close things out at Spanish Fort and at Dothan with a home matchup with Blunt prior to that one. And Coach Norman Joseph watches his freshman quarterback sail that one just a little high over Chris Harbin's head.
We're getting one-on-one coverage, a little safety help over the top, and basically Harbin with a chance to beat one man to get open, which he did right there. Got to say, though, the quarterback did put a few on the money that were dropped in the first half, so it was his turn. That inaccuracy.
Jeff Kelly bringing up a point of concern over there with the official on the far side.
Well, Jeff, he wants a win in the worst way, doesn't he?
This is, as Heather mentioned, their 3rd straight road game, and inside give, and not much doing there for Trey Inge, the junior. So it's Inge with the carry. We're going to bring up a little note on him, Dan Brennan, here on this 3rd down and 8. Murchison, the freshman, rolls out. Pressure coming from the backside and fires it off, and he's going to complete it. And Eager's going to have it for the first down.
What would you say the likelihood of completing that pass was when he let it go? He had 3 receivers all pretty much running routes that mirrored one to the other, and he was just going to pick which depth he was after, and he went through the middle guy, basically.
Yeah, and look at McReynolds picking up the block there on Keaton Law.
Yeah, he just likes to be physical.
Got it up to the 42-yard line, good for the first down for the Yellow Jackets, and they'll go right back to Reynolds, and he keeps it. And he's just across midfield up to the 49. And a lot of times you see a smaller back like that, they just do anything to avoid the contact. He's not afraid to. He will try to avoid it, but he'll also stick his nose in there when he needs to finish off for a yard.
I've noticed he kind of does both. He minimizes the contact many times with his with the way he's able to shift, but he'll lay a lick on you.
He's going to pound ahead and be really close to the sticks. I think that's going to be enough for a first down. It is for a
Jimmy's unorthodox, and he makes juke moves in little spaces, and he gains the angle on you, and then he bursts into that sprint again, and off he goes.
USA Metro Cancer Institute first down here. Will Taylor out in the flat, and Taylor shows some speed. He's the 35, and there's a flag back there at the 42, and that's probably going to be a hold. Roberson was back there, and
I don't know. Half the times they've thrown screens, they've been penalized for holding. Roberson now banged up, and I think he was in the first half too.
Maybe just a little cramp there. He's going to stay in there. Dalvin Gully, the sophomore, had come in to replace him. Now they are going to send Roberson out.
Holding on offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the hole and replay first down.
That's from the spot of the hole, so it doesn't send him way back, but maybe about 5-yard penalty as it turns out in net.
Let's see here if it's maybe the tight end. Yeah, I think they maybe going against James Mayhall, the tight end there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's looking down the far side, and this one looked like it was going to be overthrown and then underthrown, and it's complete up to the 25-yard line. Anthony Eager.
Well, Eager kept his eye on the ball. He was able to make a move on the ball where the cornerback had no clue. Now he does, but it's too late. Meager underruns the route and makes the catch.
Picks up 27 and up to the 25. And McReynolds gains 5 on first down.
Kudos to the Jacket offensive line, too, Jim. There's been nothing shaky about them. They've been really solid.
Young man, really solitude. You see Trey Inge, 34, come back in there. Fred Riley saying he's pretty sure that Inge's father played for them back in the Davidson 2002 region championship team. He also wore number 34. That was Davidson's first region championship team, coached by our old friend, Coach Vickery.
Interesting.
Well, that little Fred Riley with some good nuggets on a Friday night for us here.
Fred Riley, I ran into him at Voodoo Wings. We had our Tiger Talk overtime from the Auburn Network on FM Talk 106.5 on Thursday night.
Third and short and good penetration. Trevor Pope, the senior, got in there and wrapped up Inge, and on third and less than a yard, they go backwards.
They can kick one if they want to because the young man hit one from 47 yards to end the first half.
So it's going to be 4th and almost 4 as they lose 3 on that. Penetration there by Pope, and so they're going to go for it on 4th down. Murchison rolling to his right, wanting to scramble. Slides down, and it's going to depend where they spot him, Dan. I think they're going to spot him short.
He slid too early.
He slid way too early.
Slid too early. Wow. That's a freshman right there.
Oh, on 4th down. So they see McGill was a little worried about making sure they didn't pick up the holding call on the edge there, and then Murchison. Now, if you're the freshman quarterback, you got to put that one behind you and not carry that over the rest onto the next series out there, because that's an error that.
Yeah, it costs you a chance at a touchdown or continuing the drive for sure. He was going to have the first down.
And he knew sliding was a good thing. He wanted to protect the football. He just did it too early. Reynolds, and that one deflected. He was trying to get to Matthew Milner, tight end.
Milner thought he was held, or that thing happened so quick. I didn't see the hold if it was there.
Roscoe Haywood, a sophomore, out there. Pretty good defense in the secondary by the Yellow Jackets there on the replay. Big penetration, and Bruce Davis comes up with a big backwards slam. As that was Cam Lafitte, who's also about 185 pounds, but Davis, the nose tackle, got him wrapped up and bring up a 3rd and 5.
Does this look like the sort of a defense that would give up 76 points in a football game? No way.
Third and 5 here for the Spartans. They led 10-0 in this game. McGill has scored 11 unanswered. Reynolds floats out to the right, looking to the far sideline, and complete. Milner with the catch and the first down.
Wow. What a play.
All the way up to the 44. Watch. Composure again. Had one over there that looked like he might have got it down. So there was a flag. There was a sideline warning violation against Saraland. So that will not impact the play.
Well, they were very generous with the catch call on Milner right there. Looked like he might have been out of bounds.
Instead, they pick up 9, and 1st and 10 to the 44 as we're 5 minutes into the third. Reynolds going to keep it himself, and has a flag dropped on the near side. Is going out a late shove, and that's going to be a flag. And now some more pushing and shoving, and now this McGill players coming in over there as well.
I don't like this at all. This just can't be happening here.
And now another flag gets thrown.
Oh, this is not fun to see.
There was a flag at the start of McConnell Collision Center. Flag over on the far side. It was dropped on the near side as Reynolds carried it, went out of bounds. It's going to be a late hit flag out of bounds over there.
It might be more than that.
And then there was another flag much, much later when the fracas was still going on.
I mean, nearly every McGill player was on that sideline was engaged in some way across the way.
So it's going to be
not a good look.
There's going to be 30 yards, you would guess, of dead ball. So let's watch here. Okay, so he's out of bounds here, and then that's the shove. That's going to draw the penalty. That was Tremaine Clanton who, with the extra shove at the end of the play, and then things escalated there. And the officials doing a good job of trying to go back to confer about what they saw, but there was a subsequent flag that was much later than the original infraction. So if they were both against, and it looked like it was, the second one was going to be against McGill, the way the Saraland sideline reacted.
Yeah, with the way the crowd reacted over there, right.
So Don English will do a much better job at explaining it all. But the first one over here is going to be against Saraland. It's going to be a illegal formation or
pre-snap.
Mm-hmm.
That got ugly quick, and I don't know. I don't know how you prevent that necessarily. Maybe you talk to your players ahead of time, but it's so volatile on the other guy's sideline, and now you've got all 11 of your guys over there.
So don't make the wrong call after an accident. Call McConnell Collision Center. They are the home of the invisible repair. And Saraland band. But how good was the Saraland band at halftime tonight?
They were really good. Some rock and roll classics.
They're a great band. Like you said, they were great when they played in Theodore. A couple weeks ago we saw them.
Stevie Wonder Superstition.
It's a staple of the repertoire.
It's good.
Have a little LaGrange in there, a little ZZ Top LaGrange to start out. Just the
kicked
beginning of the song,
Yeah, kicked it off with that.
You'd have to think we'll maybe hear some bands, little Rolling Stones tributes as the season goes on after passing a Charlie Watts last week.
Well, you get Start Me Up here to the lip every time they kick off.
We have a legal formation, which is a live ball foul, and we have a personal foul, which is a live ball foul. Those fouls offset. We have a dead ball foul, unsportsmanlike, which will be penalized.
So all that's going to be a 15-yard walk-off against, if the second flag was also against McGill, then that'll be a 15-yard walk-off. Ooh, they're going. Yeah.
Well, you got the penalty.
Right. So
they're now pushed them back 5 yards, right?
So the first one, so they're going to mark it off 15. So the first one that was even though it's a 5-yard and a 15-yard penalty, they were just offsetting.
Offset, right.
I thought they were going to call 2 dead ball fouls on McGill, but instead it's a live ball on the unnecessary roughness.
I thought the first one, both McGill penalties were dead ball fouls because he was clearly out of bounds, and that's when the shove came again.
Reynolds, inside give to Willie Butler, and he's up to the 36-yard line.
They haven't had much luck running it to this point of the game.
No. We'll get 4 there, and we've got a Spartan player injured. Not sure which lineman that is. Maybe Roy Reed.
Been a physical game, Jim. And now you got this.
Yeah, but here's Roy Reed, and he's up to his feet. Just one of those plays alignment. I hate when you get rolled up on and you're kind of engaged up top and don't even see it coming.
Yeah, from behind and down low, and you end up falling backwards like that. Maybe your leg is pinned under it. Well, that might add a little spark to this game. Flare up out on the out of bounds area on the Saraland bench. They've had trouble running it. 23 yards running so far, rushing for Saraland all game long.
2nd and 6 for Reynolds and company. Substitute on the offensive line usually lead to a improved rushing game. As that one intercepted, threw it into traffic and picked off as Alex Schamberger, who dropped one earlier, comes up with that one, forces the turnover, and
he just threw it into coverage. Schamberger is the strong safety. He's right where he needs to be. His eyes are on the quarterback. Watch what happens. Schamberger gets to the ball sooner.
Yeah, a little out in front of Engelbert.
Yep.
First interception tonight, and Hill gets it back, still leading 11-10 halfway through. The third here. Timeout here. I think maybe the officials will just call this one the heat timeout with 6:07 to go. And the third, still 11-10. McGill-Toolen on top of Saraland here on Friday Night Rivals. Friday Night Rivals brought to you by Wendy's. Here in Mobile tonight, McGill-Toolen leading Saraland 11-0. Saraland had the 10-0 lead. McGill-Toolen with a touchdown, a missed PAT, a long field goal, and a safety to give them the 11 points. And Andrew Murchison, the freshman, making his first start here tonight.
Unusual lineup, huh?
Jammed 3 wide receivers right at the near side of the line, and no space in there this time for McReynolds.
Kind of came out of the gate big time, had a lot of yards in the early carries, and Saraland has tempered that down a little bit with the help of McAlpine, 95.
Got just one there on first down. Gives it back. Oh, look at that move. Wow, the lateral movement of this young man. He rolls it all the way up to the 38-yard line.
I can't recall, Jim. We've been doing it a long time, 21 years.
He's so shifty.
Yeah, this might be the shiftiest back we've seen. Wow, that, wow.
And then holds onto it. Good job as Trevor Pope was trying to strip that ball.
You know, he's got that incredible quickness, and he just competes so hard.
Look at him get out of the backfield here. Now he's going to try to turn the corner, and this could be big trouble for Saraland if he does, as he's all the way inside the 35 to the 33-yard line. You got another injured Saraland player all the way back at the 40. Boy, so that one was looked like it was going to be bottled up in the backfield, and then we haven't seen him go wide a lot to the all the way to the boundary.
I don't know that speed is his thing necessarily. He's got that burst though. But what I like about him coming off the field, just check out the confidence in the face.
Yeah.
Like he's
Bird. It looks like he's dealing with some cramps.
Hopefully that's all that is. But McReynolds is definitely the dude. You know, at 5'8".
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. He's really good, and he's really aware of it.
He's up to 174 yards
on
the ground here tonight.
That was his biggest run of the night so far.
At the 34, McGill They were driving last time, turned it over on downs. Trey Inge will come in the backfield here. Fake to him. Looking for Mayhall, who slides down at the 22, but then there's going to be a penalty dropped all the way back at the 30.
Oh, wow. Good catch by Mayhall. You know, when your feet are messed up, it's so hard to complete the catch.
And he's filling in for Jenkins, who got hurt.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have an illegal man. I think one of the linemen might have got downfield here, Dan.
Oh, just another flag.
Ineligible receiver downfield. The offense, replay first down.
Wipes out a good play. Good individual catch by Mayhall.
Yeah, Mayhall, the sophomore, coming in after Jenkins got hurt in the first half. Turns into a 1st and 15 back at the 39, and they'd have been inside the 20. Mayhall did a good job adjusting that ball. As you said, Dan didn't have his feet underneath him. And a gain of 1 for Inge there. So about 4.5 left in the third. McReynolds comes back in, and Murchison comes over to be next to Coach Norman Joseph. New head coach here for McGill-Toolen. If you're just joining us, spent most of his career in college.
In college football.
Give to Taylor. Taylor finds a little gap, and he squeezes through. Taylor in for the McGill touchdown.
Seeing is believing when it's Will Taylor.
39 yards for the score.
He's a good athlete. Really good athlete.
5'9", 160, and
competitive, tough. But watch this. No one really lays a hand on him. Great move right there.
Inge with a good block.
Great burst right there. Nothing wrong with that play, Will Taylor.
And now McGill will try to extend their lead to 8. As Inge got just enough of Chris Thompson to slow him up, and that allowed Taylor to get around him and get in the end zone. And now McGill with their biggest lead of the night, 18-10 on a 41-yard touchdown run for Will Taylor. Unanswered now by McGill. And they lead Saraland by 8. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, Heather Healy on the sideline. Matt Melton, our statistician, back with us here this week. Will Taylor officially will be a 40-yard touchdown run.
That was something. I mean, you're doing your best. Your focus is on Braylon McReynolds for 180 obvious reasons tonight.
Right.
And then a little inside reverse to the slot guy. And he takes it to the house. Really impressive.
This one's going to be short of the end zone, and Williams at the 7. And Jarrell Williams up the right side. Watch out. Williams with a lot of speed, and it's up to the 37-yard line. Hey, so our trivia, we said last week Jeff Kelly's team was shut out up at Hewitt-Trussville. But before that, when was the last time the Jeff Kelly team had been shut out?
In the playoffs, coaching Satsuma by McGill. I might be totally making that up.
There was part of that was correct.
Okay.
It was actually, you go back to 2008, he was coaching Jackson.
Oh, okay.
And lost 33-0 to UMS, and that was a playoff game. But Satsuma was shut out by Fairhope also in 2004. That the only 3 times a Jeff Kelly team has been shut out in 18 years of coaching.
Wow. I remember he started at Satsuma, so that was my guess.
And you heard Coach Collier say he's going to be the best play caller we go up against all year.
Yeah.
This one thrown behind Engelbert, and offense really kind of in a funk right now if you're the Spartans. But a lot of it comes from not being able to run the ball.
Not being able to run the ball, putting too much on the quarterback. His play's a little bit up and down. He's made some plays tonight. It's been a long third quarter. I don't think I've got to tell you.
We're 2 hours and 20 minutes into this game, and we've got 3 minutes to go still in the third quarter. Ryan Williams goes in motion, and the blitz coming, and this one tossed up in the air, picked off again by the Yellow Jackets, and this one going to go all the way in for the touchdown. Hung up in the air, and Roscoe Haywood, the sophomore, looked like they were setting up the screen. The big pressure was on. Reynolds just heaved it up out of desperation, and Roscoe Haywood, the sophomore, takes it all the way back, and suddenly this one seeming to get a little bit out of hand.
Well, that one was almost like a birthday present. Like, how did that happen? It just floated right to Roscoe, and he didn't have much resistance getting it to the end zone.
And now the PAT coming by Shine, and it is 25-10. Reynolds with the big pressure coming, just heaved it up there, and Roscoe got it. It was Dylan Sauce, the junior, with the pressure, and the sophomore takes it back to the house. And McGill stretching this one out here late in the third. Well, this one has just kind of taken a momentum change all McGill with a 25-10 lead over Saraland, and the pick six there, back-to-back interceptions by the quarterback of the Spartans. And now you got to figure out, all right, how is he going to respond, making his third start?
That's a good point. It was his throw that landed in the arms of the DB, but he seems like a gamer. He seems like one of the reasons he's the quarterback is Jeff trusts him, trusts his toughness. Oh, look at McGill.
Kick to the near side. Good job by Spartans to cover that one up, and let's go down to Heather on the sidelines. Heather Healy.
Yeah, guys, this momentum shift is a huge momentum shift here in the late third quarter. You talk about the 6 penalties that McGill had in the first quarter. Now they just have 2 in the third. So talk about the improvements made, plus that pick 6 that they just had before this kickoff, guys. Big momentum shift here for the home team.
Yeah, how about a couple of scores to pass along? Thank you very much, Heather. A couple of scores. You got Baker and Foley tied at 22. You've got Daphne and Fairhope tied at 24. This one complete to the near side to Williams. And down in South Mobile County, Bart Sessions 2-0. Alma Bryant going up. It's 2-0. Theodore ranked number 6 in 7A. 71-0 Theodore. Wow. Gain of 5. Santee McWilliams drives ahead, and he's going to push, and he's going to get the first down on second effort. So I'm passing on a couple other scores here. Fourth quarter, Baldwin County 2, Blunt 0. How about that? 2-0. Baldwin County on top of Blunt.
Huh. Blunt really hasn't got the offense cranked up yet this year.
McWilliams up the middle. He's got the first down. Spanish
offensive line has been challenged a little bit here, Jim. Theodore, or rather Saraland just lining up and coming right at McGill. What they're doing, they're spreading them out, and then they're just handing it off again.
Spanish Fort leading Gulf Shores 42-26. UMS all over LaFleur tonight. 16-12, St. Paul's leading Williamson in the third. Viger leads W.S. Neal 16-0.
That'd be a nice win for St. Paul's after last week. If they can hold on.
1st and 10, McWilliams. Like the up-tempo they're going here as well.
Up-tempo and a lot of dive plays. Nothing fancy at all. And we're suddenly seeing some holes
that have not been there.
They have not been there all night.
2nd and 4. The freshman again has the first down inside the 25, and we push back. We'll give the freshman a breather and bring in the sophomore Cam Lafitte. Near a minute to go in the third. And some movement prior to the snap against the Spartans.
Dead ball foul. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
I don't think I want to know where we are with penalties right now.
McConnell Collision Center. Even they've like, well, okay, enough.
You've talked about it too much. Can we file a complaint?
Reynolds fires that one, tipped up in the air and nearly intercepted again. That one went off the hands of Tremaine Clanton. It was tipped up, and Braden Turner was back there as well. And off the hands of Williams. And Drug Education Council is our replay sponsor. Prescription opioid abuse is a critical public health issue, as opioids are among the most dangerous drugs. Check out drugeducationcouncil.org for more information. Now they bring Butler in, a straight arm, and Butler down to the 17-yard line.
Looks like a hold on the outside on the edge there is going to bring it back. What was the old school coaches used to say about the forward pass? 3 things can happen, 2 of them ain't good.
Yeah.
That's kind of been the night for Jeff Kelly's passing game to this point, aside from that long touchdown to Williams.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay, second down.
On both sides, the holding calls on edge rushes and mostly screen plays and passes to the outside. We've seen it over and over again.
Yeah, you were at 2nd and 15 after the false start penalty. And now you're all the way back to the 40. 2nd and 25. Gabe Reynolds gives it off to McWilliams. Look at 6 back. Down to the 34. They'll put it right at the 35, so we'll give him 5.
He's special, too. He runs really hard. Again, he is only a 9th grader in 6A football.
See if they get another playoff, or I don't think they're going to get one off. They'll let the clock expire, and we will head to the 4th quarter here. McGill 25 unanswered. Saraland trying to get back down close to the red zone. They need a couple of scores as we get ready to head to the 4th on Friday Night Rivals. Ready to start the 4th here at McGill. 25-10. McGill on top, 3rd and 20 here for Saraland. Reynolds, pressure coming, dumps it to the near side. This is Ryan Williams. Another penalty flag is dropped. Williams all the way across the field. He's going to get near the sticks.
Wow.
The penalty, kind of where you see maybe an illegal man down, ineligible man downfield area.
Boy, now Saraland getting snake bitten with these penalties for wiping out a big play. You called it. Just a guess. Or did you happen to see him?
We play third down.
That's kind of where the flag was dropped. You could think there's not a lot going on past the line of scrimmage there. Third and 25. Now here, you're all the way back to the 40, so you got to get it to the 19. Two-down territory. You'd certainly think for the Spartans. Ryan Williams comes in motion. Now he comes all the way behind, and now looking for Jarrell Williams, and it's dropped. Had a touchdown.
Wow, he's the proven commodity too. What a nice young kid, really good player. Could have got him back in the game with that catch, and he knows it.
Wow, the junior Gabe Reynolds with maybe his best ball of the night.
Oh,
and he didn't grab it with his hands. He let it hit the shoulder pad.
Yep.
And it bounces right off, and now at 4th and 25, Jeff Kelly is going to punt it. Jack Smith. High, trying for the backspin. Gets the good bounce. Great punt. And Saraland, I think it's going to be, they're going to mark it down at the 1. Ooh, I thought maybe the young man had gone in the end zone.
Well, that's what a lot of fans dressed in orange are contesting on this side of the field.
Had a great punt.
That's exactly what Jeff was looking for. It's the most he could have gotten out of that. That kid can boom them high, huh?
I want to thank Fusaklis. They provide our crew with food every Friday night. Of course, legendary hand-breaded chicken tenders, homemade sauces. Drive-through at all locations. Order online and pick it up. Get a snack, a box, a salad, or a tray. The foo is perfect for any occasion. Keep the foo in football. As we get ready for McGill now with a freshman quarterback. Backed up all the way to their own 1.
A little surprised we're not seeing the Wildcat here. See if they shift into it.
Reynolds in the backfield. Murchison going to throw it, wants to air it out up the far sideline, and incomplete single coverage over there as he was trying for Eager.
Saraland had him covered up over there.
You did not want a holding call on that.
No, you don't.
On that. With the ball being back to the 1. Looks like McGill trying to do a little hurry up here. Murchison gives it off, and McReynolds pick up 3.
He's got this stop move where everything stops.
Like on a video game.
Yeah, well, like on a video game.
Drug Education Council replay here as you watch McReynolds. Drug Education Council wants you to talk to your kids early so they understand what opioids are and the risks of misusing prescription medication. Drug Education Council. Get answers, get help, get better. You can visit them at drugeducation.org for more information, especially about opioids. 3rd down and 7. Murchison rolls out. Will he keep it? No, he flips it up the far side and incomplete. So again, was trying to come back to Mayhall. And now McGill will have to punt out of their end zone.
Yeah, a couple of passes means the clock stopped twice, and Jeff Kelly got out of that exactly what he wanted. He's going to get the ball more than likely in really good field position.
We've seen some special teams abnormalities here tonight, and Jarrell Williams, who just had that sure touchdown pass go off his shoulder pad, stands at the 35. And Michael Shine, I mean, his heels are back to the goal line. Will Coggin is a long snapper, gets it off, pressure coming. And a good kick by Shine, and Williams takes it all the way back to the 48. And a great job by McGill's cover team to get down there after Saraland sent the house.
Yeah, they sent the house, and they've got nobody protecting, nobody blocking, and at that point, then the ball bouncing deeper than Williams had planned on. He's got nothing but Yellow Jackets in his face.
Up to the 40, so they net 37 on the kick. And see what Saraland mentioned, the first 3 on the road. Get Baldwin County next week. Then you got 3 in a row at home, Blunt and Davidson. Then they go over to Spanish Fort, get Gulf Shores at home, down to Robertsdale and Citronelle. Then they are open the last week of the season. So we approach 2 minutes gone by in the fourth. McWilliams still pushing ahead, and the sophomore will get 4 up to the 38.
I can't fathom that this defense was just tortured by Pike Road in week 1.
55 in the first half, 76 for the game.
Historic. Played really well tonight.
Ryan Williams, the freshman, to the 35, maybe the 34. He's going to be just about a half yard short of the first down.
He's a good-looking player, too.
6'1", 160.
How big is he going to get? So Jarrell, the senior, bigger and a lot more polished, but Ryan just a freshman. He's going to play a big role in this offense next 3 years.
3rd and a yard, and Reynolds going to keep it. He has the first down.
They moved the line of scrimmage a little bit more. The offense for Saraland doing a much better job in terms of running the football, run blocking.
Flag.
Of course.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense. 15 yards from the end of the run.
So McConnell Collision Center flag, but then also a USA Mitchell Cancer Center. It's the first down.
Yeah. Flag leads directly to the first down. That's a sponsor's paradise, huh?
Double dipping. To the 15.
It's a well-lit facility, isn't it? Seriously.
Did a great job when they built this to open up play here to the corner, and cutting in down to the 1 is Matthew Milner. And 1st and goal here for Saraland.
Yeah, just got inside leverage on the receiver, no help over the top, and Milner is down near the 2.
They got Lafitte, the bigger of the backs, in the backfield, and they'll give it to him. And he's in for the touchdown. Cam Lafitte, his first touchdown of the season. And Saraland comes knocking back here to pull within 9, pending the PAT. And they'll just go for the 1 here.
You look back at what we saw, Jeff Kelly, they punt him down to the 1. And McGill's got to punt their way out of there.
And as you said, 2 incomplete passes, so not much time clicked off the clock.
Right.
Bit of a low snap. And the PAT is good. And Hunter Kirkland makes it an 8-point game with 8.5 to go. So you watch Lafitte stayed on his feet long enough to get it in to the end zone. Good response by Gabe Reynolds after throwing those back-to-back interceptions.
Yeah. He also had a touchdown dropped.
Yep.
Remember?
I thought Jeff Kelly went to the kind of the tempo offense, a lot of running, just handing it off, let his quarterback. I think Jeff knows what a quarterback's what's going through his mind at that point.
I think that threw McGill off a little bit, kind of caught him by surprise. They hadn't done it earlier in the game. Well, they're within 1 score, Jim. Touchdown, 2-point conversion, and we've got overtime.
We've got a lot of time before we've been here a lot of time, but we got a lot of time before we get to that.
Just saying. Your friends at the beach will have to wait on your arrival.
Eager is what they are for me to get there. And he's also back deep. Eager right at the 10 for McGill. Look at the speed. Flies up out past the 35 to the 36-yard line. And thanks for Greer's for being again a part of high school football. Of course, everybody's still abuzz about the new St. Louis market downtown for Greer's.
It's outstanding.
Barrel Fine Furniture back with us here on Friday Night Rivals, and also Alabama Orthopedic Clinic. Do our pregame show from there each and every week. Always love to get to talk to the doctors. Had Dr. Patton on last week, Dr. Roca the past couple of weeks.
The sports medicine team, AOC.
Braden Turner, a little slow getting up on that one. He's been banged up a couple of times tonight.
Yeah, well, he's out there a lot.
And more so tonight than even usual. As you pointed out, coming over on the offensive side.
So, Jeff Kelly said at halftime, we're going to do everything we can to stop McReynolds on the ground. He's got over, 180 yards at last. Where's he at right now? About the same, huh?
Yeah, went back a little with that loss of 3. Add to it, try to here, and get 2 on first down.
Yeah. That's good sportsmanship right there, guy, recognizing an opponent that is really good and plays really hard.
Yeah. Keaton Law, number 45 for Saraland. We played really well against Theodore in the game we saw to open the season. And
he did.
Called his name a lot here tonight as well. McGill putting everybody up, I should say Saraland, everybody kind of up on the box there. And there's Keaton Law again. Going to bring up 3rd and long on the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, they're definitely bringing up numbers, Jim, and they're out-manning them at the line. And rather than just McGill might want to try something. You know, they got a lot of success with that inside reverse earlier tonight with Will Taylor.
Yep.
40-yard touchdown run.
3rd and 8. They got Alvin Edwards split out wide. 3 receivers at the bottom of the screen with McReynolds in the backfield. And they'll roll out Murchison looking for Alvin Edwards, and he'll be thrown incomplete with pressure coming. Clint Smith tracking him down, and it's going to bring up 4th down.
Alvin Edwards is very engaged, I'll say, with the defensive back that he was not at that point.
Yeah, Butler was over there.
There was a lot of contact before that point of the play.
And a 3 and out, and here Saraland with a chance to get it back, and Jarrell Williams back about the 25, and Saraland with 10 up on the line of scrimmage.
Jarrell can get it back just like that.
They'll drop a couple. Another good punt by Shine, and Williams has to, that one was high in the air, took it at the 25. And we'll see Saraland coming back out here with their offense led by Gabe Reynolds. Herc Reynolds. Did I say Reynolds or Rentals? I think it was a little sloppy on the diction there. Herc Rentals.
Yeah.
BLP Mobile Paints, another proud supporter of high school football. They've been with us a long time here on UTV 44, and of course Busackley's. Just something left over for the ride to the beach. I could use a little snack.
Kind of 2-putted on that one right there, but it's all right.
Come the Spartans again. And McWilliams to the 29.
There was enough time where they can run the ball, Jim.
Yep.
They're only down 1 score.
Feeling a little better that they got to be feeling a little better that they can on that last possession, right?
Absolutely, and I think that freshman's kind of come alive a little bit.
Picks up 4 on first down. Reynolds looking down the middle of the field. Williams, he's got it inside the 30. Makes a move at the 20, still on his feet. And down to the 19-yard line.
Never did go down.
$52 yards. Got behind Turner.
See Turner changing his angle there to cut him off. He knew he was in trouble if the ball was near Williams, and it was a great throw.
And a heat timeout called for by Don English. And we'll take it with him. 6.5 to go. Saraland at the 20, down 8 here at the Lip. 6A Region 1 kickoff tonight on Friday Night Rivals. Ooh, that's why it's the game of the week, right, Dan Brennan?
Yeah, as it turns out.
6.5 to go. 1st and 10 for Saraland, as they marched it down to the 20 of the Yellow Jackets. McWilliams will pick up 2.
Good play on the edge there by Edwards and McGill-Toolen, defenseman. Almost got him from behind. He's a good-looking kid, 6'4", 185.
Had a few of those guys on the edge here at McGill over the years.
They have.
And I don't think McGill defensively like where they were at. Randy Butler's the defensive coordinator. He coached with Coach Joseph at Southern Miss, and he actually was one we talked about, recruited Jeff Kelly to go play at Southern Miss. I do want to mention, we were talking about Jarrell Williams, who just had that big catch. His mom is also the varsity girls basketball coach at Saraland. Her assistant coach, Jarrell's dad, who is also active military.
He was an impressive kid. Right now we know why.
Exactly. Great parents. And maybe he'll be one of our nominees for our Herc Reynolds Player of the Game at the end of tonight's broadcast. We will give you 3 players to choose from. We got plenty to choose from here tonight.
But Williams won, and he actually dropped a big pass, but he's also made some big plays.
McReynolds will probably get just thinking he's going to get a vote or 2 this week.
He's earned it for sure. He's going to be a big part of this McGill team, trying to stall away this clock too.
A late substitution as they bring on McReynolds in the secondary. And they look for the corner. Williams! Has he got it? Yes! Touchdown, Saraland!
Might have a new leader in the clubhouse.
Reynolds with the throw. Williams was falling down. They had some late substitution. McReynolds ended up as a corner in that alignment, and he came on really late, right before the snap out of the timeout.
I'm not sure if he was the corner or a nickel or what, but he got in there and he had no idea what he was supposed to do. And there's some evidence right there with a touchdown by Saraland.
And now a timeout by Saraland as they want to talk about the 2-point conversion here. Pressure was coming. Great catch by Williams, and he needed all 6'3" of his frame to pull that one in.
He's been really hard to handle all night for McGill-Toolen, and he's really come alive in the second half.
All right, so now if you're McGill, you got to get a 2-point stop here to preserve the lead. Saraland scored 10 straight to open the game. Then McGill ran off 25 in a row, and now 13 unanswered by Saraland. As take a look here.
Not an easy catch, Jim.
No. Big strong hands, able to hold the ball going to the turf here, and
really smooth athlete.
And again, also being able to have that unfortunate drop, a couple series ago. You just got to flush that one away and get on to the next one.
Here we go. For the tie.
Gabe Reynolds. Sound a little Verdon Lundquist like on Masters Sunday there, Dan Brennan. He's got McWilliams in the backfield with him. Engelbert over in the slot. Williams to the far side, and Matthew Milner in there as well. Engelbert in motion. Reynolds will roll that way. Looking, 2-point conversion. We got a tie game. Ryan Williams, the freshman, with a 2-point conversion. There's a lot of pre-snap motion and then post-snap motion there too. And Jeff Kelly dials it up in the timeout, and Saraland counter punches back after McGill with Some big heavyweight tosses to take a 15-point lead, and now it's 25-25, and we still got 5 minutes and 48 seconds to go in this one.
Yeah, Saraland's so happy they brought the big crowd, and they looked like an oil painting over there for a lot of the second half, but now they are raising some cane, and they've tied the Yellow Jackets. Pressure back on McGill.
75 for sure, 75-yard drive there. And
a real easy concept right there.
Get all the motion, everybody flooding to the right side, and Williams able to just sit down.
See what McGill's approach is offensively now. We've also had some big turnovers in this game, too.
Absolutely.
That could play a big role. You got a couple of good kickers.
Got a missed extra point looming out there for McGill right now.
Blocked.
Here's Eager at the 6. Again, trying to get up the right sideline. Eager with that speed. Great field position for the Yellow Jackets to the 43-yard line.
I would have thought that was a replay from his last kickoff return. Really good speed once he gets it going. He's patient, and then he knows when to hit the Jets.
So now the McGill offense has kind of sputtered a bit here on the past few drives. Go back to that decision on 4th down when McGill ended up getting the punt back. There's going to be a penalty here.
Blocking the back on the return.
Oof.
10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. 1st and 10.
That block in the back was at the 29, and it's going to go. That's going to bring him all the way. Oh, yep, right there. You can just see it all the way down to all the way back to the 19-yard line. So it wipes out the great field position. And McReynolds ready to take the direct snap. Is it there to Inge to the 23. Both teams with 2 timeouts remaining. Murchison heads back in here. It's a bit of an uneasy feel on the fans over on this side right now.
No doubt about it. You're not just trying to wind down the clock now. You're trying to go get points. Whole different level of pressure.
McReynolds keeps it right up the middle. He's got a hole, and he's going to have the first down to the 34-yard line. USA Health Mitchell Cancer Center Institute. First down here for McGill-Toolen. So keep this in mind, too. Michael Shine, the kicker, nailed a 47-yard field goal at the end of the first half. Missed one from 30.
Had an extra point blocked.
All can happen when you're kicking, right? That's about all of the.
That's it.
Kind of covers them all.
Yes.
Make, miss, block. In the backfield, look at McReynolds slipped away after taking a huge hit to get up to the line of scrimmage. You heard that hit here on Friday Night Rivals.
It's going to make, considering the fact that it is tied right now, Saraland had 11 up on the line of scrimmage, just daring McGill. That's why 3 of them got in the backfield.
Bounced off Roberson.
God, look where they are, Jim. I mean, they're all within 4 yards of the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 9. Taylor goes in motion.
There you go.
Give it to him around the right side, and Taylor's going to have another USA Mitchell Cancer Institute first down.
Didn't you feel like they just had to do something different like that? The reverse to Taylor, which you got to figure. He's got good speed. He has good judgment when he's running the football. That was exactly what they needed right there if we don't have a flag.
But we do.
Wow.
It's going to be a
holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
I don't know.
Replay, 2nd down.
This many holds are happening out on the edge. They're just not letting it go. They're calling everything they see. And might in fact be happening. And we've seen a lot on replay where there it was.
Yep.
Both teams.
All the way back to the 28-yard line, so 2nd and 14 now. For McGill as we're at 3.5 to go. Taylor going to try to replicate that and come this way, and great open field tackle. Coming over to make the stop, Maurice Davis. That's a tough tackle to make in space. Get 2, so now 3rd and 12 coming up for McGill.
You've almost got to throw it here.
You know,
how much do you trust the young quarterback?
Well, I think they're just going to go with McReynolds. He wouldn't dare pass, would he? Instead, he gives it off to Inge, who doesn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. They go backwards and lose a yard to the 30. 4th down coming up. And Saraland's going to take a timeout to preserve a little clock with 2:34 left. Wow, 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 wow. And all the momentum. Let's go down and check in with Heather Healy on the sidelines with 2.5 to go. Heather.
Yeah, guys, let's talk about these penalty numbers here. That's really the storyline of this game. Saraland 7 for 40 yards, while McGill has 14 for 108. Wow. Talk about the big difference here.
Yeah, costly on that drive. Took away a 1st down.
Lost a touchdown earlier in the game with a penalty.
Final score across the bay, Fairhope 38, Daphne 31.
Wow.
Spanish Fort pulls away from Gulf Shores 42-14. Rachel Ivy watching the game down at Orange Beach tonight.
Guess who's back to field the punt?
Jarrell Williams will stand at the 33. Shine. Super high punt. Going to call for a fair catch and just got away from it. Nearly bounced up to touch a Saraland player, but Williams watches it get down there by McGill at the 31. We get another offshore fan. We've got the boat Breathe Easy. Captain Pat Ivy watching the game.
Nice.
About 100 miles offshore in the Gulf of Mexico right now.
That is so cool. I'm fantasizing about that right now. 100 miles off the Gulf, middle of nowhere.
Watching Friday Night Rivals, Jim and Dan. 2:21 left here in a tie game.
McGill trying to prevent something deep. They've got a one high safety.
With the inside handoff. The freshman to the 36.
That front 7 for McGill. They've been a lot to handle all night.
I think we're going to see some more tempo just due to the fact we've got 2 minutes left in this one.
Yes, right.
And just one timeout for Saraland. Hunter Kirkland, kicker for Saraland, he has a big leg as well. Reynolds looks, floats it out to Milner, and Milner will just get out of bounds. There was good coverage downfield by the McGill secondary. Third down. Here as Reynolds didn't try to force anything. Hey, remember our trivia question from 2 weeks ago, Dan, about team trying to get to 700 wins? T.R. Miller, Rachel Ivy's alma mater, got their 700 win. First team in Alabama history to get to 700 with a win tonight.
Got somebody right on their tail, though,
yep,
right?
They were 2 behind to start the year, but closed the gap. Now 3rd down for the Spartans. Reynolds wide open on the far side. Engelbert into McGill territory. All the way down inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. They convert on 3rd down with 1.5 minutes to go.
He just runs a wheel route and nobody's aware of him. Nobody seems to ever be aware of Engelbert until this happens.
And then it's like, how did that happen?
He's uncanny that way.
Into McGill territory with 1:20 remaining. McWilliams, the freshman, breaks one at the 30. Big hit down to the 24-yard line, picks up 16. And another USA Health Mitchell Cancer Institute first down for Saraland. Inside give. McWilliams. McGill has 2 timeouts left. They have not elected to take any yet. 2nd and 6 coming up here, down to 45 seconds left.
By the way, overtime rules, each team gets the ball at the 10-yard line in the state of Alabama.
This one dangerous, and he's got it complete to Williams for the touchdown. He threads the needle in his 3rd touchdown pass here in the second half, and Jarrell Williams with his 3rd touchdown of the night. I thought that was going to be tipped or intercepted.
Yeah, I thought it might go the other way.
I was thinking how dangerous it was, but
he loves
Gabe
these slants.
Reynolds.
Ooh.
Oh.
Who was that on McGill that came by and had their hand pretty much there?
Now get a flag in the end zone. I think did McGill have? Maybe McGill had too many on. They had 12. All right, so a big PAT here. Kirkland has got it.
What a game.
Unbelievable comeback. That is 22 straight by Saraland here from midway through the 3rd quarter to now.
After McGill scored 25 straight.
And when 7 plays, 67 yards. Williams with yet another touchdown reception.
It's kind of the game that could not get out of its own way for a lot of the game in the first half for sure.
How about Gabe Reynolds? 279 yards through the air tonight, 15 of 24.
That's called a breakout.
Williams, 10 catches, 177 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, we've got some candidates now for player of the game for sure. And don't go to sleep on a return here. Eager.
Braden Turner.
Yeah, Braden Turner.
I mean, Eager, you know, they've been kicking it to him, and he's been just running it up the right sideline.
Yep.
And now Kirkland tries to get it to the end zone, but right again at the 5 is Eager. Goes up there. Same thing, sprints up the sideline, tries to turn it back, and he's going to be all the way into and still on his feet to the 30, maybe the 32-yard line.
Holy smokes.
63 yards.
He's taken 3 kickoffs and done the exact same thing with all 3. The blocking's been the same. This time he tries to cut it back, obviously.
Right there, but look at the balance. Yeah. 67 yards on the return, and you're basically in field goal position, but that is not what you need. You need a touchdown right here, down 7.
Touchdown, maybe 2-point.
Oh, Dan Brennan.
You only got 19 seconds left. You better figure something out quick here, Jim.
And they go with Reynolds. 2 timeouts for McGill. Reynolds keeps it on the right side. McReynolds on his feet, upended at the 12 with 11 seconds left.
So Saraland is in. They're preventing the long pass, and great call by McGill, realizing that and attacking them on the ground.
So I think out of bounds, stop the clock. I think Jeff Kelly is going to take a timeout. He wants to talk defense here. And so you are with 11 seconds and 2 timeouts, you don't have to throw the ball if you're McGill, but it's gotta be something quick, and then you gotta get that timeout called. You look at McReynolds.
He's over 200 yards now. You got another player for Saraland with 3 touchdown catches.
214.
And Jerome Williams has how many yards in the air?
177.
Man.
And 3 touchdowns.
Amazing numbers. You know, some McGill people left a moment ago. I've had it. Yeah, I wish they were back here.
And some left when it was 25-10.
Wow.
So at the 11.
Kid likes throwing the slants. If you've got the quarterback in there.
We're going to keep it with McReynolds. He's got Inge with him, but you got to think McReynolds got to keep it in his hands. That's what conventional wisdom would say, right? Here we go. McGill down 7. 11 ticks left. Here at the lip. McReynolds keeps it. He's hit. Wrapped up. Dragged down all the way back at the 20. And with 3 seconds left, a timeout is called for, and the great penetration. That's the first time we've seen a big loss like that for McReynolds. But you're thinking if you're on the defense, he's not going to throw it. In all likelihood, he's not going to throw it. And again, it's Keaton Law.
Well, Keaton Law,
the senior.
He made some big plays of impact in this game. None bigger than that.
Right, so now you've got a freshman quarterback making his first ever start. He's got to throw it into the end zone, or do you keep it in McReynolds' hands?
You know, once the field got so compressed defensively, they were able to have numbers up near the line of scrimmage. That changed everything. McReynolds' run before that was against nearly a prevent defense.
They go back with McReynolds. Now, the athlete that he is, I'm sure he's thrown a football or two.
Okay.
You got Eager on the outside. You got Harbin.
Yeah, I think you need your quarterback.
Yep, so now they will bring Murchison in with 3 seconds remaining. Harbin on the far side. Eager, Taylor rolls out. Pressure still on his feet. Pressure coming from the backside as well. Looks, and he's hit and dropped on the final play of the game. Trayvon McAlpine seals the Saraland victory. McAlpine came, looped all the way around. Pressure from outside the far hash came down and put a huge hit on the young quarterback who was just trying to buy some more time for someone to get open. But watch McAlpine. That's him there.
Yeah, look at
He's
this.
on the far side.
He's not giving up.
I hope the young man is okay. That is a huge hit. Saraland 22 points in the 4th quarter.
That's the young guy we showed during the pregame, McAlpine. So he was on the first of the broadcast, and he made the play at the end of the broadcast.
Jeff Kelly gets his first win of the year, and how about the resolve of, talk about Gabe Reynolds when he took back-to-back interceptions. One's a pick 6. It's 25-10. You're thinking, ooh, this one is starting to feel like all the momentum was over here on the McGill side.
It was, and McGill couldn't salt it away with the run.
Get a stop, and then all of a sudden,
bad field position, end up back at the 1-yard line. So
that man right there, Larry Butler, that Jeff Kelly is hugging, recruited Jeff Kelly to go play. Jeff, a quarterback at Citronelle, recruited him to go play at Southern Miss.
Right, amazing.
They were together there, and now their paths cross again like they would never could have expected them.
And Butler was a very young coach at the time, in his early 20s anyway. You can see they're not far up removed in age. And a couple of guys know each other real well for a long time.
They had a Great pregame exchange out at about the 40-yard line.
Always good to see this, too, isn't it?
Yep. Especially after the little heated incident we had here. But what a come-from-behind win by McGill-Toolen. Here at McGill-Toolen by Saraland.
The quarterback.
So lots of, as you probably maybe hear a little bit, there's lots of politicking as to who the 3 players of the game the nominees should be.
Sorry about that. I lost my way there. Yeah. In any event, one of the most exciting ends to a game we have seen in a long time.
Gabe Reynolds, 15 of 24, 279, and she being Heather Healy is down there with Jeff Kelly. What a game, Heather.
Yeah, Coach, I was going to tell you that. What a game. What an ending to it. Tell me the game plan that you kind of put together last minute.
Friday Night Lights, UTV 44. Y'all got your money's worth tonight. What a great game between 2 good teams. I'm so proud of our kids. They came in, they turned it on here in the second half. Had a lot of adversity, a lot of things pop up, but they kept fighting, kept making plays. You know what? We just tried to pick the tempo up in the second half and tried to get the ball. Jarrell Williams is a good player for us. Made a ton of plays down the stretch. We were able to get some run games going and open some things up. Reynolds, our quarterback, did a good job, with some big plays down the stretch. Defense, we had some stops. Just a great team win, and I'm proud of our guys.
You end your 3-week travel stint on a high, on a win. You open up region play on a win. How is this momentum going to shift over to home?
Praise the Lord. We've been on the road 3 times. I think played 3 extremely good football teams. Our kids are battle tested. We got a bunch of region play left to play. We got 3 in a row at home. I love our football team. We just got to keep getting better.
Enjoy it for 24 hours, Coach.
Thank you, no doubt.
Guys.
Oh, man, what a victorious celebration by those young men there. And Jeff Kelly, you could just feel like he knew they needed one. So Saraland gets it. They go to 1-0 in the region, their first win on the year. Tough loss for McGill, but boy, you saw some kids grow up here on Friday Night Lights.
You really did. Throughout the game, you saw kids who were shaken early on come out like gangbusters when it really counted. Remarkable performance. We've got some player of the game possibilities that you can mull over now.
Boy, Braylon McReynolds over 200 yards rushing tonight in a losing effort.
Twice in a row for him, by the way.
Jarrell Williams with the 3 touchdowns and Gabe Reynolds with the 3 touchdown passes, 279 yards. Both of those top 2 for Saraland. Our Herc Reynolds player of the game. We will tell you about who the winner was next week when we are at UMS for UMS and St. Paul's for our Friday night rivals next week. So thank you to all of our great sponsors. Thanks to our great crew here tonight. Great game, especially as it got close down to the wire here in the second half. Saraland with 22 unanswered. They pick up the victory for Heather Healy on the sideline, Jared Kihas and our entire crew, Matt Milton, our statistician, Dan Brennan next to me. I'm Jim Cox saying good night here from the Lip where Saraland rallies and gets the victory of McGill-Toolen 32-25 to open up region play here on Friday Night Rivals.